Turtle Boy.
Hello, Internet peeps, and welcome to another edition of Big Trouble Little Podcast, episode 244. I am Joe Dubs.
I'm Andy.
I'm a turtle.
I'm Zach.
ZAC is back. By the way, it's in the details. We're back on the main trail of Eastern themes with the Twilight Samurai. 2002. I had... What's that fucking Dan Carvey
Master of Disguise?
Yeah.
Am I not turtle enough for the Turtle Club?
You guys want to know a crazy piece of trivia about that movie that I found out somewhat recently? As far as I know, it's legit. I don't know. Someone was interviewing him in a podcast, and they were talking about how movies changed a lot in 2001 and 2002 because of 9/11. You know, like Spider-Man changed, and it changed a bunch of other shit. He said on 9/11, that day, they were filming that scene, the Turtle Club scene.
Oh,
and
shit.
He said, "I'm sorry, I've ruined that joke for everyone." So now every time someone says, "Am I too turtly for," like that stupid shot from that movie, I think about 9/11.
Yeah, thank you.
According to him, they were on set doing that scene that day.
That's where he was doing his George Bush impersonation, and someone walked over and said the second tower was hit, and he went.
Dude, what was that meme? Was it a wrestling meme that you put down, or was it a gaming meme with the George W. Bush and it said something second something? I don't know.
Oh shit! Yeah, earlier
That was when Jimmy was kicking Roman Reigns. That's what that was.
Yeah. Okay.
The second super kick has hit Roman Reigns, and he's like really serious. It's just like
I love that meme. You can literally input anything with that. But let's get back on track with the Twilight Samurai. Man, this movie, like, out of all the movies, it had like a depressing tone, but I feel like this hit the feels like super fucking hard.
This movie is a drama first. Like, it's still a Jitageki, and there is fighting in it. But no, it's a drama more than anything we've watched.
Yeah, I felt like it was more like a period piece drama than anything.
That's kind of what Jitageki means. It's just like a period piece.
And I like in all the films, they kind of like hint like the samurai ways, like dying in some way.
That kind of keeps coming up, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I don't have my IMDb page. But what's the main guy's name again?
Seibe? Twilight?
Yeah.
Seibe.
Yeah, let's call him Twilight, I guess.
Twilight, brother.
So he works at like a codfish place. As far as
he's like a bookkeeper. He's like a pencil pusher. He's a nerd.
Yeah, samurai or accountants. I don't know if you knew that. So they defeat their enemies with the power of math.
Yes. And he stinks at his job, and he never likes to go drinking with the boys. And he's, wants to hang out with his family. That's what like gets me in this film. He's like, he wants to hang out with his like daughters, and you're just like, get a wife for that. Like, fucking get a new wife. What are you doing? It's like crazy. And just like during that time, like especially with all the women that are they say like retainer, like I'm a retainer for this family now, or for this guy.
Yeah,
like,
the translation of this movie uses a lot of what I would consider like medieval Europe terms. Like, it helps me understand.
Squire.
They call it squire. They say it's a fiefdom, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's. I mean, I guess how else would you translate it other than to just not translate it? And then it would just be like some weird Japanese word, and we don't know what that means. What's that title mean? So
I think I remember in one of the other movies we watched, I think it was Harakiri, actually, they were using the term retainer for people serving other families as well.
Well, when I think of retainer, I think of a lawyer. Like I'm retaining a lawyer.
Yeah. But that's kind of what it is. You retain the services of samurai. Like the Lord has his castle, and then he pays all the jerks who work for him, right down to the bookkeepers, which is what Saibe is. He's just like a bookkeeper, and he's the lowest rung of the ladder. They say several times he's a 50 koku samurai, which is how much he makes. It's like saying, "Oh, I make 50,000 a year. I make 120,000 a year." He makes 50 gold big circles a year.
Hmm.
You had to look that up. They kept bringing that up. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? Oh, it's their tax bracket.
It's a currency, yeah. He makes that much money. The other guys make more money than him. So
I
yeah,
figured out he's stinky and poor. 50 is poor, and more than that is not as poor.
he can't afford. He can afford to go take baths and buy new clothes because he's too busy like working his ass off morning, noon, and night. Because his wife died, his mother's senile, and he's got 2 kids to feed.
By the way, like I know we jump around because you find out like what happened to the wife. They called it started with a C word. Was it consumption?
Yeah.
Consumption. It means tuberculosis.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just
consumption is an old word for tuberculosis.
Yeah,
I didn't know
anytime
that.
you hear the consumption or they're afflicted, yeah,
They had a touch of the consumption.
Yeah, that is tuberculosis. Which it's impressive that nobody else just. I guess enough people died, but they got to keep people to get alive for the sake of the plot. But all those people around someone with consumption, yeah, they probably also had tuberculosis. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, right off the bat, the little girl is narrating. She says, "I wasn't allowed around my mother because she had consumption." Mm-hmm. So,
I mean,
at least they were aware. Yeah. So maybe they were doing something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but literally.
Uh-oh.
No, we lost him.
This happens like every other show. Well, he'll eventually come back, and then he'll think he said something, and then
in the first scene, the mother is.
Yeah, you kind of cut off. You froze there for a second.
Yeah, I could hear you guys the whole time, so I don't know.
That was weird. That's strange.
Yeah. But what were you saying?
In the very first scene, the mother's dead, so I don't know if anyone is ever around her or not.
Mm-hmm. But the grandmother, which is Twilight's mother, has dementia. I'm guessing because she's like, or Alzheimer's, something like that, where she's not remembering her son. Which, by the way, that storyline throughout the whole movie, like, is depressing too, because she remembers the son's like best friend, the girl, and then when he goes, fight the final battle, and she's crying in his house, she says, "How you doing?" And she does the whole like, "What household are you from?" and forgets her. And I was like, God damn it, man. That's fucking depressing.
Yeah, no, that I have a hard time with that kind of stuff. That sucks.
Yeah. And yeah, like I would say probably like 45 minutes to an hour, you kind of like getting backstory about Twilight. Like they sprinkle in some things like, oh, you're from, you learned I forgot the guy's name. I'm sorry, guys that are listening to the show, but they're like, oh, you learned from that guy your samurai way and combat skills and all that stuff.
Oh, Todo, I think was his name, or Tudo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you hear from everybody else that he interacts like, oh, you're fucking, you're stupid, you're lazy, you're smelly, and all that stuff. You're a joke. Like when they have the inspection of the workplace, I guess the higher, whatever that guy's
the
Lord like smelled him and shit.
The Lord
like
the domain.
Yeah, and found that like piece of his clothing is all ripped up, and which, by the way, I fucking hate that guy that snacks him. He like smacks him and shit. Like, fuck you.
It's his boss.
Fuck him anyway. I would fucking kick him in the nuts.
That guy does suck. And then also at the end, he like takes him to meet them, and he's like, "Tell him yes. Tell him you say yes." Like, what are you doing? But then after that, they talk, and he's like really nice, and he says, "Look, if you die, I'll make sure your family's watch after." It's like, well, I guess I can't hate that guy anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he was pretty decent in the end. I like movies like that where there's no one character who's like
Evil.
Evil, yeah. Like no one is that stupid blindly evil. Like everyone, like the one guy's drunk and he hit his wife, but like that's kind of like the purpose he serves, and it's not like he's a villain throughout the movie. He doesn't even come back.
Yeah, he's a little bitch. He gets beat up with a wooden sword.
He's just an asshole. And then
he's just a jerk, but he's not like true evil or anything like that. I mean, hitting your wife when you're drunk, that's pretty evil. His boss is like kind of a jerk, but like it turns out he's okay. The guy he goes to kill is like, you think he's a jerk, and it turns out he's not really a jerk at all.
I was gonna say, hitting your wife when you're drunk, I think, is lawful good in Alabama.
But
so couldn't hold back.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Is he your banjo?
The wife beater, though, he's also a pussy, because after he gets beaten by a wooden stick, he tells like his friend or whatever to like go beat him up,
get revenge.
Yeah. Like the whole time I was like, oh, this is what's gonna happen. Like I kind of like the curveball that they kind of throw, like, oh, this guy's gonna be like the final battle or whatever, the drunken guy or whoever he hires to go kill Twilight. Like that's gonna be the big thing. But then we get like this curveball and stuff. But again, just like in the beginning of the first hour, you're learning about Twilight, especially when he fights the wife beater. Like he doesn't even use a sword; he uses the wooden stick. And like, because remember before he fights him, he's like practicing with the wooden stick. He's like, I'm so slow, and he's like hunched over, breathing heavy and stuff. And then you go watch him like own that motherfucker.
I thought he makes him look stupid. Like,
yeah,
what was he worried about?
I guess because everybody looks at him like he's a failure, and like I guess that's like feeding on him a little bit as negativity.
I think he's just like they talk about, he just doesn't care to rise in position. Like that's not his. He's just kind of happy. He's got his family and he's getting by.
To quote our earlier conversation, he's the Orange Cassidy of samurai.
Oh, fuck you.
No, just kidding. We won't go that route. But really, though, I think this movie has a really good lesson to it. Because the whole thing is, you guys were talking about it being depressing. Well, yeah, like you're seeing things that play out that are elements that are sad and depressing, but it's not that he's entirely like plagued by it. This guy is actually incredibly resilient because he's found a way to find happiness in the life that he has. He doesn't want to seek out power or anything. He just wants to enjoy the life that he has. He's okay with working hard at what he's doing. He gets to watch his daughters grow. So he's like the happiest he could be because he gets to enjoy that.
Even at the end, that guy says, oh, you have 2 daughters to feed and a senile mother. That sounds really hard. If you kill this guy for us, you're going to find that your life's going to get a lot easier. Like basically telling him, hey, just do this for us and we'll pay you more or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's still like, no, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't want to do it.
Well, yeah, it does have somewhat of a happy ending and a good story behind it, but it's still depressing in the sense of what leads up to the happy moments, because again, all that time he's being made fun of, like smelling and stuff, and then with the girlfriend, like before his final battle, he's like, I came here, if I win, I know I'm gonna win. When I come back, will you marry me? And she's like, well, I've been retained and I already agreed. And you kind of feel like his hopelessness fucking gets out of his body. He's like, fuck, man, I have nothing to live for anymore.
No, he does. He still got his family.
Yeah, but like he knows he's coming back, and it's just gonna be back to. I'm not saying like raising kids is bad, but like going back and being a single parent. I think he was hoping to come back and be like, oh, I'm gonna have, my best friend be my wife, and then we're gonna have a family, and it's gonna be happy and stuff, which it eventually does. But like at that moment, he's like, all right, I guess I got to be in serious mode, and knowing I'm going to come back as a single parent, that's going to suck.
Well, that right before that is like the best scene in the movie for me, because he says, hey, I'm probably going to go die. I need you to do my hair for me, because he needs to like look presentable. He's going to go do this mission for the higher ups or whatever. And she comes and basically like does all the wifely things for him. It's all stuff that his wife would do if he had a wife. And I don't know. There's something about like the scene's just like so slow and deliberate. But I don't know. I think it's just really heartwarming, and the whole part's cool because she's doing his hair, and they talk a little bit, but not a lot. And the whole movie's just so pretty. Everything is nice. Every scene is shot so well and lit so well. I don't know.
I didn't get to appreciate that part, but that's because of the grainy quality of the
yeah, I'm sorry to everyone who watched this movie. Except me, I guess. I have it. I mean, I got it on Blu-ray. I enjoyed it in 1080p.
Yeah,
apologize now.
Again, I actually like to watch the movie.
This Blu-ray is like $9 on Amazon. So if you liked the movie and you want to see how pretty it is,
I'm probably gonna pick it up because
same.
There's a lot of the movies that you picked, Andy, that I want to have in my collection, and more that I've been researching. So. It's crazy, but anyway, like again, like then like literally after he wins the battle, and like the daughter's narrating and stuff, and she's like, we had 3 good happy years, and then he went into the Civil War and died, got shot and killed.
That pissed me off so much.
Yeah,
it's like the emotional climax of the movie. He comes home. And what's her name? Tome, whatever. She's still there, and you're like, "Oh, that's fantastic! Oh, I'm so happy." And then like it kind of like zooms out, and she's like, "Oh, and that was wonderful." And 3 years later, he was shot and killed during the Bosun Wars. It's like, God damn it! Don't tell me that. Just roll credits right now. But it ends up like there's a meaning to the whole thing because the name of the movie is. It has like a dual meaning. Twilight, they call him Twilight, and like she says they called him Twilight Samurai mockingly, and I was like, "Oh, why? That sounds like a badass nickname." But I think it's meant to be like, "Oh, he's in the twilight of his life. He's a loser. He's no longer a warrior. He's no longer advancing in status. He's no longer accumulating wealth. He's no longer going and talking to all the geishas and drinking and stuff. Like he's a loser." Yeah. So they call him that, and then they say you need to go kill this guy by twilight, and then it turns out the movie takes place in the twilight of the samurai period because after the Edo reforms, like Japan changed. This movie takes place in like the 1860s.
So literally, the samurai dies.
Yeah, so it's literally the twilight of. Samurai in general, like not just him, like just all samurai, plural.
Yeah, I mean his character. The biggest thing it's unraveled is he has this whole thing where he does have some self-doubt, like knowing where he stands, and he doesn't want to go against the grain intentionally. He just wants to live his life and kind of sway with the current as it is, but doesn't care to aspire for anything. But that's okay. But that's an important lesson in the movie. Just because a group or society wants or expects you to do certain things, it doesn't mean that you not wanting to pursue that same thing means that it's a failure or that there's a tragedy in your life. Like that's the whole thing is they're mocking him because he's not the one that's going out and doing things instead of going home to take care of his family, or that it must be really hard to have this, but it's a state of mind. Like even with all the hardship we're seeing for him, he's happy because he is still achieving the thing that he wants, which is to get to see his daughters grow. Mm-hmm. So it's just an important thing. At the very end, she even says in the narration, so many people say that my father was an unlucky man, but she says, I don't think so. I feel like that he was very lucky, and he felt that he was very lucky. And that's exactly what it is. Even with all the issues that he did have to deal with. And it is tragic because he did, you see what's going on around him and think in the scope of things, he deserves so much more. But really, if he was content, he was happy with what he had, and that's okay. And it's a good message for people. You don't have to have a bunch of stuff. You don't have to have a turtle pillow to be happy. But if it makes you happy, that's great.
Buddy, are you happy with turtle pillow?
Yeah, this thing's pretty damn soft. It was just a random box that was sitting on my porch, and I opened it not realizing that it wasn't set to me. And then I called my wife because it was her name, and she said, "Oh yeah, that's your birthday gift." So drop me a turtle pillow. So, but it's like legit beanbag. Like it's really big. You can sit on it.
That's what she said. Maybe.
Sit on it, Fonzie.
You can sit on it.
Tell me if maybe I read this wrong. But the end fight, like when he's fighting that guy at the end, and before they fight, they have like a conversation. It kind of like it's a tug of war between Twilight's, samurai way and then the new way, because like the old guy was like, the samurai is dying, and then like something snaps at some point where like the sword, because. Like, are you?
I think they agree. They both agree that the samurai way of life is coming to the end. That's why Sebe is like, I sold my sword. Like, I haven't told anyone. I'm ashamed of it. Again, another weird parallel with Harakiri.
Mm-hmm.
But and the guy says, "Oh, you're not taking me seriously. We're gonna fight now, boy." And I don't think that the reading I got out of it, and I don't think this is a hard reading to get out of it. He heard that and he immediately was like, "This poor guy. He sold his sword to support his family. My family's dead. I would have done the same thing to support them." So he goads him into a fight. He says, "Okay, we're gonna fight. Come on, we're fighting now." And the guy's like, "Well, hang on. I thought you were gonna run away." He's like, "No, we're fucking fighting now." And there's that part where he's coming up on him, and you see him look straight up at the beam in the house. And I was like, he's going to get his fucking sword caught in a beam, and he's going to get stabbed to death. And then sure enough, that's exactly what happens. I'm certain that you're supposed to read that when he heard how pathetic Saibe was, that he sold his sword, but he's like an honorable person. He also agrees the samurai way of life is coming to an end and is less important than the well-being of his family. He says, I agree with this guy. I think if I'm going to throw my life away, I'm going to throw it away to him. So he says, we're going to fight. He kills him. He gets the reward money, and then he has a really good life for 3 years.
Yeah. Do you think he could easily beat Twilight?
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, he was also drunk, and he says he can't hold his liquor. That's what he says. He says it's one of his failings. So I don't know.
He did say that multiple times. So that's another thing too that, again, it kind of ties into Seibe's character. He's very modest about himself. He acts like he's only trained but really he's only one of the few badasses left, right? Like guys, fucking badass with a sword.
They kept saying, "Oh, you trained with Master so and so of the short sword style." No, he says, "Oh, I just trained with him. I wasn't even that good. I'm not a master." And at the end, they're like, "We found out you taught there, dude." Like, you're fucking lying.
Yeah, he's like, "This isn't the time for that." Yeah, it's like for him to be an instructor there, and again, it's in a specific style that actually, and that's why they look for him. It's very specific to what they needed in that type of close quarters situation. So,
yeah, I mean, he basically trained in shotgun.
Yeah. Tactical shotgun.
But how cool is that, by the way? Short sword style? I don't know. Just like in contrast of like everything else we've watched and everything I've ever seen, is like, I don't know, it's just cool. It's neat and unique and refreshing. I thought it was
What's that sword called?
The Wagazashi.
I thought that was the little dagger.
The Tonto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just pulling that out of my ass. I have no idea.
We'll say you're right.
I do like somewhat of like the humor in it a little bit, because like when they're firing the weapons and stuff, the guy's like, "Oh, I got a misfire." Thing fucking explodes, and the instructor like fucking slaps the dude in the face, and everybody laughs.
There's like old flintlock guns they had were like dangerous as hell. Apparently, I don't know.
But you were right. The Wakizashi is a Japanese sword, short sword, slightly shorter than a katana.
Some people say Wak-asashi and some say Wag-asashi, so I don't know which one is correct.
Yeah, I when you first said it, I spelled it like Wag, but I was like, I think it is Wak, or it was a K, but
Waka.
I've heard Waka more often, but recently I heard someone say Wagasashi, and I can't remember where it was, and I was like, that sounds right and cool. I might start saying that.
Yeah. And I also like the part where when he finds out that he has to like kill this guy, and he sharpens his short sword, and like the daughter is narrating like, I've never seen him like this before. It's like he went into fucking serious samurai mode when he's sharpening his. He
becomes
sword.
another person. He's like becoming a beast.
Yeah,
well, it's true. I mean, we take it for granted because of some of the things we watch, but to take someone else's life. It's not just like you do it. It actually.
I mean, it's amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Like to watch someone else like die in front of you, like it fucking sucks.
It feels
So
amazing.
Yeah, man, I remember being 12.
yeah, yeah, bitch. But really though, like that's the kind of that whole thing of him saying he doesn't have the will to hold his sword anymore. It's not that he's scared to die. It's that he doesn't feel like he has that instinct to take someone else's life, because again, when you do that, a little bit of yourself is lost there too, and he's content with his life. It's like the whole turmoil. It's like this movie, like looking at it from that perspective, everybody feels so bad for him for so many different things, but to him, he's happy, and to conform and do the things that they want him to do are actually the things that will take away his happiness potentially.
Man, the last movie we saw had a guy who was not happy unless he was taking people's lives.
Mhm.
Now this one has a guy who doesn't want to do that at all.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, that other
Contrast.
guy would be in modern times. He would have been a psychopath. He would have, yeah.
A sociopath.
Actually, the last movie we watched had to do with a bunch of liars and a surprise baby.
Well, I didn't see the last one I saw with you guys.
It's true. It is true. There was that skip there. Yeah, you ate the time traveling meat,
Sword
didn't you?
Doom. Sword Doom.
Yeah.
No, I didn't time travel.
Oh, but that scene where he's sharpening his sword, I just wanted to mention, that's another scene where they take a long time to do something really basic, but I'm like mesmerized by it. Like when she's doing his hair and like dressing him in his kimono and stuff, I like that. But I also really like he like takes his sword apart in order to sharpen it properly. It's really cool. I find that fascinating. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even know you could do it like that. Huh?
Me neither.
And I want to bring up the sound design of this film, because when you hear the sword and the swoosh and like the wind slicing pretty much, it was so fucking cool. Like when he was practicing after he sharpened, I was like, that's fucking cool. I like it. I like that sound. And then in the final fight, you also hear like the and then it's fucking cool. Everything
about this movie is so well thought through and precise. Like I was talking about how pretty the movie is, just like the lighting is really nice. One of the first times Tome, I can't say her name right, but one of the first times she comes to their house, it's in the evening and the sun is setting, and they walk out of like the foyer area where you leave your shoes in Japanese houses, and then they walk into like the community area, and they're all standing and the sun is setting, so the sun is only on like their belt line and down. And then they all sit down into the sunlight to start having a conversation. It's just such a well-composed shot. And it's something that's like easy to miss, but it's one of those, you might not notice it, but your brain did kind of moments. But also it's just beautiful. Like this movie looks really good. I don't know. I wish it was streamable somewhere. It's such a crime that this movie isn't accessible.
Mm-hmm. I also like the part where he does walk her home to her brother's house, and like the drunk guy is there and all that stuff. And then Twilight, like I guess out of like sheer, because he's being an honorable man and a good man, but also because they're best friends and stuff, and he like challenges the drunk guy so quick, to even the part where her brother was like, hey, the clan is not going to like your dueling people. He's like, I'll think of something.
That's why he uses the wood, because he says dueling is strictly forbidden. If he accidentally kills this guy, he's going to be in big trouble. So he just kicks his ass with a wooden stick.
Yeah.
Again, it's a whipped dog never barks. Although it does get out, but
it does get out.
Yeah, it's still pretty funny.
Didn't you hear? Wood versus steel.
Whoa.
The Lagazashi. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Lagazashi.
That's so cool. Like the guy's like defeated and his sword's on the bank, and when he lunges forward and grabs it, somebody like flips over him and hits him in the head. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah, he pulled that Elden Ring special art.
Yeah, that's right.
Hot and then the guy like slowly just fall. I was waiting. I was like, is he gonna fall or just scream? And he just fell over.
That's right.
It was pretty cool.
I like what he says to, I don't know, I guess they're servants or whatever. You like pour water on him.
Splash water on his face. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. He'll come.
His men, his lackeys, his boys.
You and your flunkies gets me in the revolution. Now I'm just quoting Dave Chappelle and Prince. All right, continue. This turtle suit's weird.
What else could we say about this? I think we hit all like the just to like bring up the fact that he's like trying to like move on from the samurai life. like when his daughter's doing Confucius, and he's like, "Are you doing that?" He's like, "It's kind of like frowned upon because you're supposed to be like a woman and servant, but I someday that's gonna change, and I would rather you be smart and ahead of the curve." And
Whoa.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, that I wanted to put that quote, but I couldn't fit all of it. The book learning, like he's talking to her, and he says, "As long as you have the power to think, you'll always have a way to survive, or you'll always be able to manage to survive."
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and he said, "I'm a sucker for that." It's like he's really good to his daughters, and he's kind, and he's teaching them to how to take care of themselves. That they don't need to grow up and fit like the conformity of just go get married and that person will take care of you. Like learn to love the world around you. I don't know. This movie is a really, especially in contrast to the other movies we've watched. They're great in their own right, but this movie is really good for a different reason because it's very thoughtful.
Yes. Yeah,
It's a very thoughtful movie.
like, I don't know. Part of me is really proud to have chosen this movie, and part of me is like, this was a mistake. Why did I choose this movie? Because
Yeah, I'm still mad at you about it, but it's okay.
It flies in the face of everything else in my theme so outrageously. Sort of. I mean, it has a lot of the same theming as Harakiri and even of Seven Samurai to an extent. So I don't know, but it's just it's separated by decades, and it's more of like a thoughtful. It's more thought provoking. Well, I don't know. The other movies are thought.
And Rashomon because he's a liar.
Well, as much as this is a period piece too, like some of the others, and they talk about the time, and it's not that the other films can't be relatable to other eras or times. Like again, Seven Samurai can be relatable, Harakiri can still be relatable, but this movie I think really translates well. Like there are a lot of lessons and themes in this movie that really like anyone can take and apply to their current life.
Yeah,
Sure.
It doesn't matter when a story takes place. What matters is that there are humanistic elements there.
Yeah.
This movie is very human. Yes.
We talked before about how a samurai movie, or for that matter, a Western or whatever, is just a vehicle to tell this human story. And that's kind of what this is.
Yeah, yeah. The turtle agrees. This is a human movie.
Mm-hmm.
That pillow is outrageous.
That's a back of the box blurb there. This is a human movie.
This is a human movie. A turtle.
There are no accents.
Better call a fucking Criterion. Tell them to put that on the box somewhere.
Yeah, as soon as they add Kung Fu Panda to Criterion, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, soon.
Can't wait.
Yeah, baby. Well,
I don't know what else to say about this movie. Unfortunately, like it's so rich.
We kind of hit all the story beats. So
yeah, it's like so rich and so pleasing to watch. But honestly, I'm having a hard time unpeeling the onion that is Twilight Samurai.
My criticism is I don't want to really give it because I feel like it's very unfair. Mine is obviously I didn't get to enjoy some of those strengths that you'd said because of the quality, but I honestly, I'm just gonna go back and watch it again. I'm gonna find a different way to watch it and watch it with a better quality and try to enjoy it that way.
You're welcome to come and take my Blu-ray anytime you want it.
I gotta finish that other movie you gave me.
Good luck.
I haven't even started. I looked at it once and I started sweating. I was like, nah, I'm gonna wait.
What, The Human Condition?
Yep.
Yeah, I decided, you know what? In The Human Condition, and I started watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia again.
Which is also The Human Condition.
By the way, I'm having some internet problems, so if I like freeze, just continue. But
So far, so good.
Yeah, I dipped out like twice. It probably didn't even notice because it just like flickered. But
you were still there. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's weird.
everything's all good. There's a snake on your bed. That's different. But...
Is there a snake?
What? Why would you look, you silly monkey?
Well, there is a belt.
You're such an ape. Ninja and ape. I swear.
Well, we do have snakes down here in Florida.
Oh, that's true. You guys got gators and other weird stuff. Since that anti-immigration policy, there's going to be more gators. I don't know how you're going to deal with all that.
Yeah.
But this show's not about politics, so let's move on.
Yeah.
Move on to what? Like we were agreeing. I think we hit it. I mean,
yeah.
I was excited because none of us had seen this movie before, so I had no idea what was going to happen. But I'm really pleased. I really like this movie. If you can find it, watch it. but it was on Netflix once upon a time. If you have a VPN, it's on Korean Netflix right now. But hopefully, it'll come back one day, and everyone can enjoy it.
And the way me and Zach saw it, I enjoyed it because I used my headphones, so that's why I heard all the sound design really well. I will say the visuals probably not as good as yours, Andy.
Kind of washed out.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie itself is like it's all like earth tones and like muted. So I don't know.
No, it was like the lighting was off. It's like the gamma was too high on the
okay, yeah, I got you.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah. It looked like it was smeared. Yeah, it definitely had a different effect. I'm actually looking forward to trying to watch it again, like with that, because I still took a positive take from the movie despite knowing it looked like shit. Like that's a compliment. So yeah, I guess since I'm already saying it, yeah, I would recommend it. It's a good movie. Not even just like as a samurai movie. This is just a good movie.
Yeah. I went into this film being like because Andy never saw it and all that stuff, so I was like, oh man, this might be a miss. This might be a misfire.
I was worried too.
But I enjoyed it. Like after you got past the first hour, like the last hour like kicks it up a notch a little bit, where it starts to hit its themes, it starts to hit its climax, and then third act, hits you with all the feels and stuff, and then it ends. So I enjoyed it. I recommend this film.
I enjoyed both hours. I mean, it's kind of part of me is like that anthropology degree where I learned later that they meticulously researched the sets and stuff. So it's just really interesting to watch because of the minutia of 1860s Japanese life and all that stuff. But I don't know. I enjoyed both hours of it, frankly.
Zach, what about you?
Yeah, I liked it. It was a little slow burn at first, but I wasn't like, like, I don't know about this. It was like, well, let's see where this goes. And it went somewhere, and it was cool. I liked it. Like I said, it was more like a drama, but that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, something I forgot to mention that I only just learned last night. This movie is the first in a trilogy of similarly themed movies. Like, obviously, they're not all about Saibai, but they're all based on short stories by the same guy, directed by the same guy, and the screenplay is by the same two guys. So I'm going to try to watch the next one sometime. It's probably going to be even harder to find than this one was, though, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this one seems like kind of famous because it's like when I was looking for a way to watch it, there was all kinds of people going like, this movie's great. Too bad you can't fucking watch it.
I can find it. Yeah, it's got like a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes with, I think, 81 critic scores on it. And it won 12 Japanese Academy Awards, which I guess is the most any one film up until that point had ever won. I don't know about since. I just know up until then that was the most.
Damn, that's impressive.
No, it won like Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Actor, Best Actress, and then a bunch of Best Technical stuff.
Best everything.
No, this movie's really good. I remember something I didn't get to bring up. It was the actor that I know we talked about it beforehand, so it feels like we talked about it, but I wanted to say it on air. So the lead actor in the movie, Hiroyuki, is that Hiroyuki as they say it?
Hiroyuki Sanada?
Sanada, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's who plays Seibe. He is like he's had quite a career, and like he's like made a good niche for himself. He's been in a lot of really popular TV shows, and he's been in several different action movies. I mean, he's been in several different Marvel-based movies. He was in Bullet Train. His character's awesome in Bullet Train. He's the elder.
That's what I kept thinking. I was like, where have I seen this guy? Where have I seen this guy? And toward the end, I was like, oh my God, this guy is in
he's
Train.
But what I remember So what I remembered him from is in the latest Mortal Kombat movie, he is literally Scorpion, which is hilarious. The irony that this movie is what it is, and his character is like his personality is so timid and calm, and he's just very happy with what he has. And now he's, most like he's actually going to be in the sequel Mortal Kombat movie, and he's literally playing the Spirit of Vengeance.
I like the main character though. Sorry, I'm I'm getting flashbacks of that main character doing nothing in that film. But
Oh, I didn't say the Mortal Kombat movie was good, but I mean, I had low expectations.
They're
So.
making another one.
about?
Maybe they'll do a better job.
I mean, it was commercially successful, and it was better than Armageddon, or not Armageddon, Annihilation.
Jesus
look
Christ,
at that. I got Armageddon. That's how bad it was. Armageddon was a
bad.
terrible game, right? Yeah,
Too bad
right.
you will
This
die.
guy also plays Musashi in that show Westworld. I've really been wanting to watch that, and that makes me want to watch it even more.
Oh, that show is such a mind fuck.
I've seen the movie from the 70s, and I really love it. So I've always kind of wanted to.
and as far
I watched season 1 of Westworld. Woo, man, what a trip!
and as far as TV shows, he was in Lost. He was Dogen. He was the guy that was at the temple in season 6. And also he was on the last ship. I believe he was Takahaya. I think he was part of the Chinese ship that was attacking the main ship in the last ship.
Rude.
So, and he was also in 47 Ronin, by the way.
Yeah, he's in 47 Ronin. He's in Avengers, The Wolverine, Army of the Dead, John Wick.
Mm-hmm. He's everywhere.
Yeah, like I was saying before the show too. If you look at his IMDb, up until the Twilight Samurai, it's like stuff you've never heard of, television movie, television show, movie that didn't do that well. The Twilight Samurai, and then suddenly he's in like all this huge stuff. So,
Yeah, and let's just point out something since we were coming back to it. I'll defend this movie just in this bit. The newest Mortal Kombat movie, there are probably like 15 total minutes in that movie that are cinematic, like they're just great, and
Sure.
all of them either involve him or Kano. So like the opening sequence of that movie and him like fighting his way through everything is badass.
no, I think we agreed when we reviewed that movie. It's like, well, Kano's great, and some of the fights were cool. Everything else sucks on ice.
Yes.
Oh, that's really funny. Because I was before my time, but yes,
Yeah.
that's a universal thing. Kano was great, and Scorpion was great, and like the actual choreography and stuff is good. But like the Scorpion story, I thought was handled well, except for the whole lineage thing. But we don't need to go down that. As again,
Yeah. Eventually,
PTSD.
Eventually, what we'll do is we'll fucking review the Mortal Kombat movies. Especially if the new one comes out, maybe that could be something. But
I'd be down for that. I just hope the first scene of the next movie is that Cole self-insert original character Do Not Steal guy getting killed or something. Or
Like Shang Tsung murders him in the beginning.
Yeah.
He says his soul is mine.
He's like in bed or something, and he like wakes up dramatically. And Shang Tsung's standing over, your soul is mine, and it just like steals it. And then like the opening credits roll.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, no, like straight callback to Annihilation. How Johnny Cage, if spoilers for everyone watched that shit of a movie 30 years ago, but Johnny Cage dies immediately. They just kill him, and that's how they bring Johnny Cage into the sequel to fill in the role that Cole was in. That's how Carl Urban gets in there. He shows up, and they don't even stick to like anything that makes sense. He's just yelling bloody cunt over and over. He didn't even shave his beard. He's just fucking Billy Butcher from The Boys.
The Boys, yeah. So there's one more movie left. Andy, what is that movie for week 5?
Okay,
Or at week 6, I should say.
We're gonna close it with a bang. We're gonna watch Ran.
Ran.
I ran so
Ran
far
or
away.
Ron. I don't know how you want to say it. I don't care. Either one.
Ron.
It's Kurosawa's late career masterpiece. So we're bookending it with Kurosawa's big samurai bangers.
What's the runtime on that movie?
Enough.
Oh, okay.
You're saying it's long.
Yeah,
So-
it's a little on the long side. Let me double check.
2
2 hours 42 minutes.
That's
I
not
was going to
bad.
say 2 hours 45
Bad.
minutes. Damn.
No, I told you guys, we started with a long movie. We're going to conclude with a long movie. The middle was the break. You guys got to watch Rashomon. The movie's like $1.20 or something. Like, that's nothing. Come on now.
Yeah.
So remember, watch that movie, come back, and we're also going to be ranking the movies, including Rashomon. So we're going to include that in the rankings since we all watched it, including Zach at some point when he watched it at that time.
Yeah, I still remember it like it was yesterday
Or do you?
for the most part.
I mean, you might misremember it, is my point.
Yeah.
think I
Well, he watched the
Yeah. I
podcast.
bet whatever you remember is a lie.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Last week I forgot to say one of my favorite jokes from The Simpsons. The episode where they go to Japan. Homer's pissed off, and Marge says, "Oh, Homer, you might like Japan. You loved the movie Rashomon." And he says, "That's not how I remember it."
That's pretty good.
Oh,
That's the whole joke, and then they go on to the next scene. I fucking love it.
Oh,
All right. Well,
that is great.
Before we get into last word, here's some words from Macho Man.
Wow! Oh, somebody put a microphone in front of me. You know what that means, brother. Yeah. I've heard all about this podcasting thing. I think I've been on it a time or two myself, I believe. It's a little intergalactic for me, a little out there, but that's okay, brother. Yeah. Because on Getting Some Color, you can relive moments, me and my glory, and my moment of glory. Before the yellow and red Brutus, you know who I'm talking about, brother. Yeah, the guy who was backstabbing, hot dogging, grandstanding. Forget all about him. You can see the Macho Man in his glory days, or you can hear people talking about it at least. You can watch, too. But hey, that's not what's important. The devil's in the details. Sometimes the details aren't important. Sometimes they are. These details, they're a little bit important. You can catch Get Some Color bi-weekly Thursdays, 10 p.m. Eastern. Be there or not, as they say. Wow! Wow, man, freak out, yeah!
Which, by the way, we are going to be reviewing WrestleMania 10. So get ready for that. Finally, we're going to get to that this Thursday, hopefully.
Yeah.
Last word is where we usually end the podcast of what the hell we're playing, watching, or doing. And if we have any news, we'll talk about it. So the only thing I've been playing is Street Fighter 6, but I don't know if I've created my character. I didn't go into World Tour yet. I've been pretty much doing casual matches because I'm not ready for ranked yet. And I'm having fun. I'm actually owning people. After I got mad at that modern controller fuck. Because literally I'm fucking blocking everything and all of a sudden super and all that stuff, and he just killed me within seconds. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna fucking block you to hell, and then I'm just gonna fucking own you, and that's eventually what I did at some point. But Chun-Li is what I'm doing really well in, as far as character wise. Cammy is my second, and then Jury is my third, and JP I'm kind of learning. It's weird, his set and stuff that I'm trying to learn the combats and the trials and all that stuff. But I also looked at the lobby area where you can play Street Fighter 2 Turbo, whatever, Hyper, whatever fuck it's called.
Some other games too.
Yeah,
Final Fight and something else.
Yeah, I only played the Street Fighter 2, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking cool. And apparently there's gonna be tournament stuff because there's a little kiosk area or desk where tournaments are gonna open. So I wonder if there's gonna be any prizes or stuff, or is it just gonna be bragging rights? I don't know.
I mean, they might set up stuff and do their own thing, but I mean, tournaments are already there's a lot of third-party stuff that's out there through Challenge and a lot of other apps that people use. The tourney scene's already crazy online. They're setting stuff up pretty regularly, but I do wonder if Capcom or Street Fighter specifically are going to try to set up anything outside. It'd be kind of neat to see if they do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they announced that big prize pool that they were going to have for the seasons, and it's outrageous payouts for who wins the big events through the year. So it'd be cool if they did that with smaller stuff.
Yeah. Did you guys play World Tour yet? Because I only created my guy. He's fat and he has a tiny head. That's all at the moment.
I mean, we can blend it all together now and talk. Zach, if you want to tell them about your Street Fighter stuff, and then I'll jump on mine.
Sure. I haven't played World Tour yet. Honestly, I spent The first day I got it, I spent almost the entire time in training mode learning everybody. And then I played some stuff online with one of my buddies who also got the game for like a few hours. And then we played like 20 matches or some shit where we played the same character over and over, rematching each other. That shit's great. Who did I play? Oh, it was Manon, the new French judo ballet chick. She's like Lady Gaga, but she judo throws you.
Okay.
I like her a lot. She's cool. If you ever want to get like really good with a character, like get a real good feel for it, do that with somebody you know. Like just play a fuck ton of matches over and over and over, and don't change characters.
That's honestly what I need. I'm waiting for you to clear out about 8 hours on a day and just come up, or I come to you and we just jam games. That's what I need because I need the reps.
Because that's kind of, I mean, I didn't really exactly do that the next day. I played a lot of it because I haven't played it since Saturday. I invited a bunch of my friends over and we just played Street Fighter and just passed controller around and shit, and that was fun too. We pretty much played Street Fighter all day, just live.
I don't think any of us got invites. What the hell, man?
Yeah.
Well, y'all are busy and far away and doing other shit.
Yeah, I couldn't come in. I was on call, so I'd have been super upset. I'd been like, I can't come. I'm sorry.
I was working.
Yeah.
And in Florida.
Yeah.
yeah, in Florida.
I just assumed everybody was busy.
Well,
Yeah.
all good.
But I'm gonna try to get back into it again soon. After that real deep dive, real quick. I'm playing. I kind of play everybody a little bit. I don't really do mains that much, but I'm really liking how Cammy's playing. I'm gonna try to learn Chun-Li pretty in depth. Ryu's real good in this game. He's kind of like how he's in Street Fighter 3, and I like Ryu in Street Fighter 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Manon, I like her. I like Zangief a lot too.
The Geef.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Geef. Don't worry.
DJ.
What are you waiting for?
That's it.
Let him finish.
I gotta learn DJ's rhythm combo shit.
It's so cool. Have you actually done the input? Have you done it where you master, like when you actually finish the whole input and it does like the finishing blow? Because you only get the finishing blow if you nail the whole sequence.
Yeah, no, like I get all the way to the end of it and then somehow it just doesn't come out. So
yeah, the button input it's hard. Like the timing. So I got it one time. I tried it like 20 times or something, and I finally got it, and it's pretty funny. But it does almost as much as level 3.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, it's strong. Yeah, it's powerful. But yeah. Did you do anything else on it, or did you play any of the other Battle Hub stuff or anything?
Nah, that's just kind of it. Just playing a lot of do training and then actually playing against people.
Nice. So I did a very similar thing to you. I first got it. I sat and I labbed in training mode, the tutorials, like for character guides, the combo trials, and I usually make a goal to myself because I always like this with Street Fighter games. They have those combo trials. If I can find someone where I master a combo trial completely already, that's like the person I'm just going to go with first. And guess who we finished with first, boys? We went full grief with Geef. Finished the combo trial, and I was like, well, I'm going and I'm going to just hammer some people. So I immediately jumped online, and I already have a good video of a double perfect I landed on some poor soul. I'm pretty sure I sent that kid to the Shadow Realm. It was so fucking funny. I'm pretty sure he labbed out. Like, something that I didn't... the game is just, like, beautiful in terms of how it plays. It's smooth, but the tech... like, there's so much layering because they have intentionally made it so that if you want to play at, a more novice level and pick up just the modern controls, you can and still easily keep up and play with friends, which is awesome. If you learn a little bit and play classic, you can do that. But if you really get deep and learn how to do the parry drive cancels and actually dash, like there are combo extensions you can't access unless you can do those drive extensions. And especially for someone like Zangief, his also allow him to go into a mix-up game. So literally when you play against Zangief, if they know how to drive cancel repeatedly, you're constantly just having to play 50-50. You just have to guess if he's going to go high or low or just try to grab, and it's stupid. Like, I mean, obviously he's got a weakness. He can be beat, but if you put someone in and pressure them, it's just so hard to beat him. Plus, he only has to hit you 3 times. You only have to do 3 grapples and you just win. So
what I'm hearing is I shouldn't bother trying to get good at this game and play it with you guys.
No,
you should. Oh, actually, this is like the perfect one because that modern control system actually opens things up entirely. Like, I actually really love that that's an element of this game because it allows people that otherwise aren't going to spend all the time learning minutia and labbing. It allows them to play on a
like,
footing.
I'm never going to learn like block, cancel, throw, chain kind of. I just want to like
you know that.
It's like that's beyond the threshold of fun. But like I was telling Dubs before you guys jumped in the chat, like I kept waiting for 5 to look appealing and it never did. But I really want to buy 6 because when I played 4, I played the fuck out of it. Like I really, really liked Street Fighter 4, and I want that back.
Yeah, 6 has the same, and I hate using this fucking word because kids use it. It has the same vibe as 4. Like I'm getting like flashbacks of like 4 really hard on 6 right now.
I think I agree to a point. It actually feels like a good blend between 4 and 3. Like there's a lot of really good stuff from 3 that they managed to implement in this game in a different way. Like the parry stuff especially is just really nice.
I love the parry system. It's fucking great.
It is. Oh, by the way, let's talk about it. Blanca has the single best parry of all. Blanca just turns around and for now at least, yeah. Blanca just turns around and puts his ass out. Literally just uses his ass to block. It's so great. No, the game is wonderful. Again, you can get as advanced as you want with it. And again, if you're going to play at a higher level and do that, that's great. But again, because it helps close the gap where you can enjoy it and just play with a bunch of buddies and pass the controller around, you don't feel like you're going to get wrecked. Like it's nice. And the thing too, if for those listening, so what we're talking about is there's classic, which is your traditional 6-button. Then modern is now broken that into a 4-button scheme. So again, there are certain like combinations you can't do, so you can't optimize combos, but you're able to more easily access them by having to do a lot of the inputs, and you have like instant supers and stuff that you can do. So that's nice. And then there's actually another one that's literally like baby's first fighting game. That's just automatic, like you auto combo when you hit, and that one like is disabled in certain settings because that one's literally for like. It's for children or people who have never played a fighting game who are just trying to learn.
Children.
It is.
I learned fucking 6 buttons when I was a child.
I mean, well, me too. But listen, me and you, we're like the way of the samurai. It's a dying breed, brother. It's okay.
I think kids are getting dumber though because like seriously, it's like they're playing less. We played more complicated games when we were kids, and it's like they can't grasp it now. What's up with that?
It is. It's different. I don't know. It's weird. But
I don't know if it's all kids. I don't know if you can say every single child is dumb now. I don't know. I think it's all over the place.
I've got a pretty good testing pool of it with all kinds of different games. Like,
I mean, aside from gaming, like just in a general sense, my literal job is just trying to keep these little crumb crunchers alive, and they do some dumb shit. And I'm never surprised anymore by some of the dumb things people come in and tell me they've done. And like sometimes it's now just like, why did you do that? Like, I've just outright said that once to a kid. Like, that was stupid. Why'd you do that?
What's the best answer you've ever gotten from that question?
Oh, good. That's fully loaded.
that you could tell us.
I thought it would taste good.
Oh. I can see that happening.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
That sounds like something I could get myself into.
Yeah, it wasn't even like an edible item. It was, but I was like, why did you think that was a good idea?
Like
crayons,
like Tide Pods.
I didn't remember what it was, but yeah, it was like something poisonous, and I was like, yeah, you shouldn't have eaten that. And then I
thought Windex was Kool-Aid.
But yeah, most of the time it's That's usually the answer I get. The Mongoloid. Mongo sad. But anyway,
wrestle me.
But I mean, I get what you're saying. Like games, they're just different though. Like again, controls are there are ways like quality of life things have made gaming so much easier in some ways and complicated. Like again, in the same vein of okay, well we grew up with Sonic. Sonic is as simplistic or as complicated as you want to make it, but there aren't that many buttons. But dear Christ, you have kids that are 8 and 9 that are out here trying to play Elden Ring. Like,
Yeah, you're
it
right.
shouldn't be.
You're right.
It's so it goes both ways. But I agree. The fighting game stuff, it's nice that they broaden it for people, but it's not like someone is going to lose the $1 million championship because someone beat them on modern scheme. If it does, it's because that guy is so good that he managed to handicap himself by playing modern controls and still beat somebody.
I bet it'll happen one day. Somebody's going to win with that control scheme.
Oh, it's already happened. I think there were like games. So Justin Wong, like a legendary Street Fighter player, was doing a lot of streaming with different people, and I think he played some games, which he was also playing Manoa. It's a character I want to learn, but he was playing, I think, Sonic Fox, which is another famous fighting player.
I know
Plays
who
like
that is.
Mortal Kombat. He played a lot of DB fighters. He's really good at just every fighting game ever. But I'm pretty sure he was like rocking like modern E Honda, just like for the trolls, like, and then playing some JP. Oh, before I forget to, Dubs, if you like being called really insensitive things, you should keep playing JP because people are gonna fucking hate you, especially if you get good with JP.
Oh, good. That's what I'm gonna practice now.
Yeah. Oh, that is the asshole character of the roster so far.
I have a question. Is there a way to filter out these modern control people? I still want to know. Is that a thing?
I
don't
thought
think
that there
you can
was
do that.
something. I mean, there are settings like filter different like groups that you play with, but I don't think there are. But that's the thing is you're looking at it the wrong way. There is nothing that they can do in the fundamentals of the game that gives them an advantage. It is slightly easier for them to put in an input on something. However, the fundamentals are still the same. So I was proud of you when you said like you learned how to just like read and actually play the game to beat him, because that's all you have to do. Also, if it comes down to literally like button for button, if you're playing classic and he's playing modern, he can never do the same things you can do if
I
you're playing the
understand.
same
I
character.
just don't want to
It's
hit
just-
mentally challenged people. So
Well, that's you're playing online gaming. You're gonna run into the whole time. That's literally what it is. Like that's
Yeah.
all of our lives is just outside of trying to get together to play in person and enjoy it like that. We're just churning through like the mud of just stupid people. And,
Sludge.
like, it's just chuds. Just a bunch of chuds out there playing what Ken, because he's edgy and he lost his family and he looks like the maniac.
I like Shoryu Reppa.
Yeah. Anyway, I just start ranting about it. I've gotten high on this L8. I don't know what happened. I've just ranted on about Street Fighter, but
He's on
Ken,
sugar high.
hey,
So-
Ken, do you want to come to my barbecue? Sure, you can.
so I've been playing a lot of Zangief though. I really want to learn Mano, but I haven't really given it a chance yet. But I've played around with it. I played a fair bit with Guile because if you've played Street Fighter since Street Fighter 2,
I
and
suck
like
at
you
Guile.
like Andy, you were saying you played Street Fighter 4 a lot. Like if you knew Ryu or Guile on that game, play Ryu or Guile. They're very easy to use.
Or Ken.
Ken is Ken is really, really strong. Someone on a higher level is gonna like do something absurdly stupid, and it's gonna like be all over Twitch. Like someone was showing live stuff where he can do certain moves and drive parry from one side of the screen to the other and juggle the person the whole time, and it's all within like all the blocking frames. It is actually stupid. Whether someone does it in a fight, it's different, but Ken's pretty cool.
Have you ever fought a homeless man? Like, I think all homeless men are fucking strong as fuck,
Yeah,
right?
they have nothing to lose. Yeah, so
Ryu's a homeless man.
That is
They
true.
got nothing to lose. They got like 3 personalities to mess with. I mean, they got it all, man.
Oh yeah, you'll fucking eat a Shoryuken for a cheeseburger like that. I gotta beat your ass. Like you don't do that. I watch bum fights. I know what happens.
I watch Kimbo Slice. I watch all his fucking.
I remember Kimbo Slice. I know all about that shit.
Oh shit, Kimbo Slice. That is a name that I have not heard in a while.
Can we get a
damn.
character that's like Gen Z Kimbo Slice and Street Fighter 6? Can we get that?
Just straight up bring Balrog back, and his story is that he like washed up and he just became Kimbo Slice in the streets. So he took his gloves off and he just like fucking. But it's called like the Buffalo Stomp, and he just curb stomping people.
He still has to shout my fight money when he gets defeated, though. That's
That's fair.
my fight money! He's just unconscious.
That's pretty great. Kimberly is another character that looks really cool. She's got a lot of
cool.
unique stuff, and she is. It's actually really neat. She is like sharing moves from both Dan as well as Vega. She has the Azuna drop, which
Guy.
I'm really. Oh, Guy, sorry. But I'm really torn about playing with her or not. But everybody like online is continuing to go on about Vega eventually being added to the game, so I just have to hold out. But I'm enjoying it for now. I did play World Tour. World Tour is weird. It is like this neat thing for 5 minutes, but it's a big long grind fest. It's very repetitive. It's actually kind of terrible, and it's a time suck. But it's the only way to get like alt costumes. It's like it's fun in like short bursts, but you're gonna play it like this is kind of awful. So it's what it is.
Like everybody else talks about how much they love it.
It's weird. It's like how actually this is a great way to put it. Do you remember when Pokemon Go first came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like before, like they actually fixed it and like the rating stuff, and they add all this depth. It was just like literally the superficial. Oh, you can do this. It was cute, but then after a while, you're like, man, I kind of like hate myself for doing this.
Yeah, like you couldn't even like battle, and they hadn't really.
I'd rather just play like regular Pokemon, or,
Sure.
or something. Yeah,
Oh.
unless you're like a smooth brain. It's like that. It's there. It's not bad, but you have to. And the grinding stuff sucks. Like some of it is literally like the AI is really dumb, but like they're buffed to shit, so you like do no damage to them, and if they hit you twice, you die, or you get KO'd. So you have to like go up and basically throw. Like you can just stun lock them and throw repeatedly, but it takes like 50 throws to defeat them, and there's no time limit. And you have to do that to grind items to then give to people to then get their reputation up to then get their alternate costumes. It's a bit much.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It is. I'm not very far into it, but I saw all the grinding you have to do to get the alt costumes. I'm like, shit.
Sounds like you're gonna buy some coins. Sounds like you're gonna get put some coins in that coin
Shit,
purse.
I work my ass off. You're goddamn right. I'll go on there and buy some coins. I'm not doing that shit. My time's worth more. Fuck it, they got me.
Yeah, when I found out like
System, baby.
When I found out what you really did have to do, it's like I'm probably gonna do that for like one character. And I'm not going to feel like doing that for everybody else.
Honestly, at this point, I'll probably maybe try to push through because the story itself doesn't take that long. It's all the grinding and stuff around it, and that's the whole point of it. The story is just outlandish. Like the story is dumb. Like you go on the street and meet some random, like some person that you're involved with, like steals a purse, and you're trying to help them.
Character.
So you like you get counterfeit Bob over here. That's like, oh yeah, if you get some leather stuff, I'll make one because I'm here for the art of counterfeiting. But, oh, you need a metal piece. You better go to Italy and fight that Roman bitch, and she'll make you a metal piece to put on it. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why would you fly across the fucking world to go get a metal piece to add to a counterfeit bag? Never mind. Like, the logic's lost. I lost 10 IQ points trying to do Capcom logic.
You're doing it wrong. You're approaching it the wrong way.
There's only one way to approach it.
No, there's not. You're thinking about fucking story and like Street Fighter game.
Where's Bison? Is he going to be in the season 1 pass?
I don't know.
He's not been announced. They've already announced season 1 pass, and he's not in it.
He might. I'd say there's a good possibility he won't be in this game. Probably.
Yeah,
that would be silly.
The arcade stuff is cool. I didn't mention that. There's like the arcade where you play through and do the stages, and there's a car stage, and they brought the Perry basketball mini game back. Which is really cool. And everyone's story is like unique to like their person. Like that's like their last stage is another character. It's not like some final boss nonsense. So I don't know. The game I've enjoyed a lot of it. The World Tour stuff was for me a little weird, but the game itself was just wonderful. So I can't wait to keep getting lost in it.
Yeah, I mainly bought it because you guys and my group of friends from New York love Street Fighter, so like and plus the lobby system seems way better than 5, and the UI is fucking quicker than 5, which I love. I don't have to wait like a fucking century to go into a menu system, which is a big plus.
Yeah, you were talking about buddies downloading. A friend of mine, separate from our other friend groups, had messaged me and was like, "Hey, when are you gonna get? Are you gonna get Street Fighter 6? So you can get these cheeks clapped?" And I got it day of, and I'm like, yeah, I have it. You want to play? And he's like, oh, I don't have it yet. I'll get it. So every day now, I've just been sending him like random pictures of just like Peach clapping hands, a clock, like TikTok, bitch, get on here. I'm just gonna keep like vaguely threatening him until he gets on there, and I'm just gonna whoop his ass.
You know what you should do? You should like every Zangief fucking massacre that you do, just send a fucking video to him. Be like, are you ready yet? You ready to get fucking giefed?
Yeah, just know if you start a match and Zangief jumps, just block. Just wait, because he has this weird thing where he can drop kick, and if he holds the drop kick and hits you, it does the wall bounce. It kicks you all the way across the screen, wall bounces, and then he can jump up and grab you.
Yeah.
It's freaking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Round 2 can do it into a super. It's even better.
Yeah. But on my last word, by the way, the only thing else I've been doing is Street Fighter. And I've been watching YouTube videos. You guys ever hear the dead internet theory?
No.
Is the internet dead?
So
Are we
The
dead?
theory, I thought it's confirmed. It's been dead
Well,
for
Is
30
any of
years.
this real? Are you guys
Well,
a dream?
the
Are you shadows on a cave wall?
they're saying like, you know, it's gonna be conspiracy theorists, but they're saying like corporations and the deep state, what they did after 2010, or pretty much when Facebook fucking and Twitter blew up and stuff, everything was like botted. Like there's still real people on the internet, but it's AI generated bots that makes everything fucking fake and stuff. But
Yeah, the Patriots did that.
yeah, fucking the Laluluelo.
That's
right. So
That's what you heard when I said
see,
that, I assume.
yeah.
I also hear buzzing, but like I'm being partially facetious saying this, but seriously, from now on, anytime I hear like conspiracy theory, I immediately just assume that it's just a group of people that never learned how to do 7th grade math word problems, and then like they just kept putting the same answer and got frustrated that they kept failing it, so they just said deep state, and that's where we're at.
I always think about my favorite conspiracy, and it contextualizes every other conspiracy. Birds aren't real.
Oh yes, birds are real. I
That's
read
the
it.
best
It's
one.
fucking wonderful.
It's like when you hear it, you're like, that's absurd. And then you read the facts, and you're like, you know, I'm starting to see how these people's brains work, because there's evidence there to support it, and you start realizing this is how every conspiracy works, even the ones that sound reasonable. They're all made up of the same building blocks. I love it.
I will say in the video, there is certain facts that apparently the Pentagon and the
Department of Defense.
Department of Defense, like
I was just saying
Yeah.
that.
The NSA.
no, I'm sorry, DARPA was going to create
Or Metal Gear.
was
Fucking
gonna,
Hell!
FEMA.
yeah.
Jim said you would protect me. Keep
All right,
going.
let me cup your balls,
I'm not gonna
boy.
lie. If you tell me FEMA's involved in a conspiracy theory, I'll believe it. I'm
I'm just
Southern
waiting for my
Virginia.
FEMA check, Robert. I swear, I'll get out of here when I get it.
No. In all seriousness, DARPA was apparently creating something similar to Facebook, where they were going to do a social experiment, which they did release a article recently, Pentagon, saying that they were going to do a social experiment on the internet against people. And since like they went to the Senate had a hearing and said, you can't fucking do this, DARPA. What the fuck are you doing? Then Facebook just like showed up out of nowhere. And we all know, based off of files, I'm not getting political, but based off of files, that the government is deep into, you know, social media sites and stuff.
Yes, that's an absolute fact. You would be ignorant and stupid to not think the government is 1,000% spying on you through social media.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that's political, but come on.
It's not really political. This is fairly obvious. Like we're live streaming as it is anyway. But if it was a private conversation, we'd be being listened to. It's not really like conspiracy theory. Like they're not gonna do anything with it. That's just like day and age of surveillance and figuring out where that weird line is when you're breaking privacy versus trying to protect. But that's a whole different conversation.
I gotta put a tape over my webcam real quick.
Hey, ATF. Those are level 4 plates, right? I'm waiting for you.
Oh. Dial it back a little bit.
No, I hate those motherfuckers. So.
No, it's fine. Listen, Bob and that fucking NSA truck has been jerking off ever since Dubs was like, I'm playing Chun-Li, Cammy, Jury. And he's just like,
You don't play any male characters. What's up with that?
Well, he doesn't like cartoons and he likes titties, so it's fine.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
that.
that's fair.
I get
That's
it.
fair.
Yeah.
I play
whatever.
JP. I'm gonna learn JP, I guess.
That's not a man. That's a machine.
Yeah.
So you play 3 women and a fleshlight. Great job.
That's good.
I don't think he's actually a machine. Whatever.
Alternate timeline Bruce Jenner in a fucking pinstripe suit.
He looked like Saruman. If like he looks like a mix of Saruman, and I also noticed that he's wearing loafers with no socks. You can never trust people that do that. If you see people that wear loafers with no socks, they're fucking weird.
Okay. You know that weird website where you could like mash up 2 Pokemon and just fuse them together? It's like that thing where they had like the Weeping Bell. It's like, be strong for clearance, mother. It's like JP is like if you took Saruman, Christopher Lee Saruman,
And you gave him like a bunch of testosterone.
No, a pimp named Slickback. It's just a pimp named Slickback from the Boondocks. He's just a pimp. He's just wearing the purple pimp suit. And he's just got all that weird swagger, but he's also, fucking white wizard.
I just thought of Saruman and fucking Tommy Wiseau from The Room blended.
Which character? Because I'm on board now.
Yeah, that's it's a relevant piece of knowledge though that you dropped on us. If you loafers no socks.
I did not.
I was just trying to think of one of those.
Oh my god.
Loafers with no socks for sure. You don't trust someone that wears loafers with no socks.
Never trust them.
It's like never trust a man that wears a tunic.
Yeah.
Or socks with sandals. But anyway, that's
or the ATF. Never trust them either.
Yeah, level plate 4s. I just said that backwards. But Andy, what the hell have you been watching, playing, or doing?
Mine's super easy. I was doing housework and I had a day off. So I put on Wolf of Wall Street, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna have this making noise while I strip wallpaper." I ended up sitting there watching like the whole goddamn movie. I love that movie; it's very funny. I watched the Spanish Grand Prix. It was pretty good.
Did anybody else win?
No.
God damn it! Sucks.
You guys watched the wrong race though. Your boy Lando started in P3, so. He qualified really well, but then he finished the race in like 12th or something.
Fuck. Damn it, Lando. You're supposed to do better.
He tried, but no, Verstappen started in pole position and won. He led every single lap, the entire race. So
that's boring.
I know. The rest of the race was like some interesting stuff happened.
I wish they made it interesting. Like they gave like lightning bolts and blue shells to the people in the back, but fucking losers.
My dad and I were talking about it. We said, like, I wish they would run a race where everyone had the RB19, the Red Bull car, so we could like understand how good some of these drivers are. Because some of them are just driving trash. They're just driving bad cars.
That's called NASCAR.
I know it, but
Giuseppe here is the best driver in the world. Too bad he has to drive this loose leaf jalopy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some of them are. Some of them are driving Haas cars, and they just suck. They suck out loud. It's not their fault. But just run that race. Don't award points. I just want to know. I just want to know, like, are these drivers actually good or do they actually suck? Is it the car or is it the driver? So
you know what? You might be onto something. Actually, you know how like in NASCAR they started doing what were those series of races? They're independent from the point standings, but they're like the ones where if you like a shootout.
Cup series now in NASCAR.
Yeah, they used to have like the shootouts where like you just have someone do a shootout race and they like modded the cars a certain way. Yeah. And limited it even more. And if you just won it, you won like $1 million if you won that race, or you won a $250K. Yeah, they would hold it, and they started I want to say it was Bristol or somewhere else when they did this, and then it picked up, and like you said, now it's a bigger thing. That would be a really neat idea with Formula One if they did the same thing in a pick some like really famous tracks. Like you only need to do like 2 a year or something as a test, and do these shootout races. But you have to make everyone just picks a default car, And if you want to pick like whatever
Yeah.
the best thing is or whatever car of the year, like find a way to give a partnership and they get some money out of it. It's a
Oh,
win-win.
sure, put them all in the Williams car. Who cares? Put them in trash as long as they're
Yeah,
on. Like,
I
I just
was
want to see
gonna
who's the best.
Exactly, same footing. And as you say, then you're just testing the driver's merit to see
Yeah.
who actually wins that way.
Like
That'd be
that's really cool. But the more you think about it, the more you realize like each of these cars costs like $30 million, and there's 20 of them. So I don't know who's going to pay for 20 $30 million cars just so we can run this fun little experiment. So I don't know. It's still I want to know. Like there's several drivers that I'm convinced are super fantastic, but you know they're driving hunk of trash. So, whatever.
A bunch of fucking 90s Ford Tauruses and drive those. I don't give a shit. I just want to see who's a better racer.
Yeah, sometimes
Dale Earnhardt.
So, several drivers would leave F1 and go to other stuff and like dominate. And it's like, okay, well, clearly he was a good driver. That's why I like Alonso so much. Is he went to endurance races and stuff like that and did fantastic, and then came back to F1 where he's doing pretty well. It's just car's not fast enough. See, you guys have seen a race, and now we actually had a conversation instead of me just saying stuff and you guys all sitting there silently.
Yeah, don't worry, your turn's coming. We're gonna talk about wrestling.
No, you guys have a whole show for that, a whole ass show.
We haven't done a whole ass show in 2 weeks.
Well,
two weeks, a fucking month. It's
Do
been
one
forever
Thursday.
since we've done one.
Yeah,
I guess we should get to work on that, guys. We should like probably make an episode.
Oh, and then besides that, I played a fuckload of Tears of the Kingdom. I don't really have anything to add. It's just it's so much fun. I keep learning new things you can do. You can like attach there's rockets in the game, and you can attach one to your shield, and if you hit the block button, Link turns his shield sideways and then flies straight up into the air using the rocket. It's hilarious. I love it so much.
They added rocket jump. That's so cool.
Yeah, no,
it's like the old rocket jumping from fucking Quake.
And they still have there's that thing where when you're falling, if you take your bow out, it goes into slow motion so you can like nail some headshots and stuff. So the thing to do when you're fighting something big and scary, use the rocket, you peace out way up into the air, and then as you're falling, go into slow-mo, headshot, and then
I'm not Legolas. Yeah, it's when you're playing Legolas and Quake. Just rocket jump, and I just take everything out. Now, I'm assuming you can do the thing from Breath of the Wild too, right? Where like you could like cook the bombs and like fly everywhere, like when you like with the switch or whatever. Where I can't remember if it's a switch items or if it was just a block with the shield and a bomb would blow up, and then it would like slingshot you. Like that's how a lot of speedrunners would like get across the map super quickly.
I don't know. I know a lot of speedrunners used that thing where you would freeze time on an item and then hit it a bunch of times.
That's it. That's what I'm talking about.
You can't do that anymore.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
You have a whole new suite of powers.
Okay.
So
well,
I don't know.
Rocket jump sounds pretty cool.
Nonetheless, speedrunners are figuring out very fun ways to break those new powers as well. So don't worry. It's still coming. I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun playing the game. Every once in a while, I'll talk to an NPC and I'm like, "Hey, how's the quest for figuring out what happened to Princess Zelda going?" And I'll be like, what? And then it's like Link's like holding like 12 bombs and 2 long swords, and it's like, what? So I'm busy. I'll do that later.
Details.
I got to attach these exploding barrels to javelins and throw them at goblins. I'll be back later. But that's it. A ton of Tears of the Kingdom, and watch some F1.
All right, Chaz, what about you?
All right, so we last episode, just to fill in, we talked about Nope because everybody that had on the episode that time had watched it, and then, I can't remember, Zach, you watched Nope, right?
No, he hasn't yet.
Nope. Okay, Nope on Nope. Well, I remember before I said, I'm going to watch that again because I want to catch stuff. So I did it. I just went back and watched it like the next day. So that movie is fucking awesome. But again, it's been consistent in anything he's made. But now I'm blanking on his name. His director. Jordan Peele. Thank you. Jordan Peele does such a good job of just peppering in so many little Easter eggs and details, and there are always either things that like are just very well laid out clues to how the movie is going to play out, even when you don't expect it.
Like clever foreshadowing.
Like clever foreshadowing, but also it's like things that just inspired the movie that he made, like what helped him get to that point. Like just so many clever little things that are peppered through. I just love it. Again, now that like actually watching that movie, knowing what's gonna happen, it's just so much better to see how they're like little nuances of how they react in certain scenes. I mean, I actually laughed harder the second time going back around whenever like you finally like see the creature and everything. The first time, like whenever it's over the house and he's like, and he says the line, he's like, nope, and everything.
Mhm.
Like going back and seeing that whole thing play back out. I'm trying to remember there was something about. I saw this online. It was something about the. There's actually like a very specific finding on when the electricity goes out and like the range of how close the alien is, and it's like it's actually its own Easter egg of like how it changes the frequency. And I was like, what? How the fuck did someone even figure out that that's a reference? But like like for instance, most of the time the power just goes out, but there are a few times wherever he's around, or the thing's around, and the I think it's the scene where the van is stopped and it's playing "I Wear My Sunglasses at Night," but it's playing it at like a weird tune because it's slower. And
Oh yeah, it's slowing down. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
That
it would
part's
make
creepy.
sense commonly that it's because it's somewhat close but not quite far away. But it actually hints at it's more than it's simply just being in range and causing it to lose like the electromagnetic field. It actually has like control of being able to dictate when it can affect certain frequencies and like block radio waves. And again, in reading, I don't know how much of that person could have just been full of shit, but seeing that and watching, I was like, that's kind of interesting though. But that's like so much extra detail. So it could just be someone like just potato braining the whole thing. But I don't know. It was really cool though. The movie's great. The TMZ thing was like that much more hilarious the second time around.
Yeah, for sure. To your point about like stuff in that movie, after I saw it, usually I'm not like into these whole like listicles of like stuff you missed in a movie or whatever. But it was just a list of all the movie posters in the background of that movie and why they were in it. Like the clever little like, oh, what that's why this is on the wall. It's actually a clever foreshadow, or this is a reference to such and such. And it was like every single one of them was interesting. That's why like it's clear that when he made that movie, he just loves movies, and he made a movie about how much he loves movies.
Yeah. That's why it's enjoyable, because it's not someone making it for the sake of making it. They good story, bad story, indifferent on how you feel about it. When he's making something, you can tell there's passion in it. And like you said, he loves it, so he's enjoying it. And sometimes it's great when you can see someone's work and you know they enjoyed making what they made for someone to enjoy it. Like you can feel that in it, and you can always feel that in his movies. I'd say the only exception to that is the only one that is weak, and that is the Candyman. Because I think that one is.
Well, he just
but again,
produced it though. Like people get it mixed up. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not his creation, and that was kind of where I was getting. But yeah, he was involved, so like you could feel his touch on the movie, but it's not the same. So I don't know.
Nope is very much a movie that I don't think you could make as your first movie.
No.
Like I know critics loved Nope as well, but like you kind of have to make something. I don't know the way to put it. You got to make something like Get Out first, and then people are like, "Oh, this guy's a big deal. I'll give him money to make the movies." And then he gets to make something like Nope. Seems like the kind of movie you want to make as a filmmaker. But
yeah, it was like a reward for him to be able to make it because he was successful with his other movies.
There's so much stuff in that movie that just seems so stupid, but goddamn it, I'm so glad it made it in that movie.
Agreed, and it is by far my favorite of the films he's made.
Yeah,
like,
definitely, 100%.
Like the other ones are good, but they don't hold a candle to it. All right, so I was trying to figure out if I was going to watch another anime. I thought about maybe starting. I don't know how to say it. I don't know if it's Code Geass.
Code Geass.
Code Geass.
Just watch a Gundam. God damn it! Quit fucking around.
Yeah. The fuck.
Okay. I'll
just watch 8th MS. It's 12 episodes long.
I'll watch 800 episodes of stupid dumbass ninjas, but damn it, you can't watch 13 Gundams.
Those ninjas have fucking heart. Okay, you need to back off. My ninjas are cool. What was the Gundam I should watch?
Ninja, please.
8th MS Team is I always recommend it to people because it's short and it's extremely good, and it doesn't have a bunch of the like space wizard crap in it.
Space wizard. I'll just have you send me something about it later.
We'll talk about it later,
please.
Yeah, but what I did find though is, so the thing is, I talk about Attack on Titan, which currently I'm still really high on that show. That was really good. but they haven't finished it. I'm still waiting on it. However, I was looking on Crunchyroll, and there was like a season that was like hidden, and they did one of those. Actually, I really appreciate it. A lot of times, these like long running shows have like these like massive bits of filler, and they don't separate them. Attack on Titan has been like, it is all go. Like what you're watching and the actual main plot of the series is just all meat. Like there's no filler or nonsense. They made a season though separately while they're still waiting for all this now of like filler episodes, but they're all like good, well thought out backstory stuff to explain little nuances, and it's great because of all of like the twists and turns that happen in the plot, all the betrayals and stuff that happen through the series, that you get to see how those things play out because the characters are so complex. So it's even that much, it's so much better than just typical filler because it's stuff that you want to see rather than just, oh, like again, we were talking about Naruto, like dumb stuff. I'm gonna go chase an ostrich around so I can get myself some Ichiraku ramen. Like I don't want to watch that. I'm past that. Like all the stuff I watched was, oh, this character that ended up being a bad person, or being an antagonist, but actually they were kind of forced into it because war and genocide's awful. Now I get to see their side of it and how like torn they were and how they almost betrayed their entire country because they realized the people they're fighting against aren't monsters too. But sorry, I'm ruining a little bit of some of the plot.
You just spoiled it for me.
I spoiled all of it. Yeah, well, I mean, the protagonist is going to end the world, so take that for what it is. Big spoilers. So anyway, yeah, it's really good. I enjoyed watching it anyway. Oh, I almost want to go back and watch Attack on Titan again because it had a lot of detail and stuff that ties in that you just don't pick up. Like the way it's written, there's so much nuance. It's another thing that you actually could go back and watch, and it's not long, but I'll watch fucking Gundam or something else.
Because I have a weird brain and sometimes I eat too much edible gummies. Like, I imagined that it like the Attack on Titan town was like, I don't know, some like hill farm area stuff, and the people that were the Titans were just like people on a nudist beach just fucking smashing shit. That's how my gummy brain was thinking. But.
Oh, I love the Attack on Titan diorama. It's an ant farm, and there's a giant fucking like guinea pig trying to climb over the wall. That's my favorite diorama so far of Attack on Titan. Just a fucking hairless guinea pig just crawling on, and the ants are like, no, save the queen. Anyway, I actually played at a Pokemon event last night. There's a local area that plays like those Monday events. I got second place. That was bad. And also the new set of cards comes out Friday, and my box of things came early, and the new set has a ton of secret rares. There's like 90, almost 90 secret rares, but I managed out of the packs I opened to open like 36 of them. So I got the waifu card, Iono, which was in like the Scarlet Violet game. They've made her like an alt art card. It's, the big money card or whatever.
That character's so fucking obnoxious.
Mm-hmm. And that card, actually, it's actually hilarious because that character's obnoxious, but the card, I don't know if you've seen it or looked at it, that card is going to be played in basically every deck in Pokemon Standard for the next 2-3 years. Because
Great, so it's going to be like $1 jillion because it's useful in the game and it has a little girl on it.
So, do you remember, I don't know if you remember the card or have seen the card in. Do you remember that card?
Yes.
It's like, it was like the strongest supporter card they ever made. Like you shuffle, everyone shuffles their deck or hand into their deck, and then you draw the number of cards equal to the number of prizes you have. So like you can catch up later. So what they did is they took the card Marnie, which is the one where you put the cards on the bottom instead of shuffling.
Used that one too, yeah.
So they combined those. Iono is those two together.
Why?
I don't know, but it's really stupid. It's very good, and every deck has to play like at least 2 to 3 copies, if not 4. And
there's like a non-alt art version that's going to be like obtainable, right?
Oh, there's a regular one. It's going to be cheap, and then there's a full art that's a regular, and there's the illustrated alt art that's super expensive.
God damn it! Wake me up when they make a Larry alt art. That's what I need.
Larry.
He's the best gym trainer in the history of the series, and they still haven't made a card for him.
He's so fucking boring.
I know he's the best one.
It's so funny that I just look at that guy and I was like, fuck, he needs a cigarette. Every time I see him in the game,
I
that's
know,
what
like
I
the old arts are always like outrageous and colorful. There's a bunch of shit going on in the background. I really want it to just be Larry in his suit, standing, like not posing or anything, just standing in front of like a brick wall. Don't even make it foil.
Oh, don't worry, he's gonna get a card. I mean,
I
there's
know
so
he
many more
will.
sets to come out.
It needs to properly represent him.
Yeah, and I'm excited too. I mean, they announced that the other set that comes out later on, and there's like the alt art of the Charmander that's like got its face angrily against the window as it watches the Pidgeys outside. I think I talked about this last week, and I love it so much because it's just it's the card illustration of my dog.
Yeah, I have a dog.
Like in every way, like it's exactly what she would do sitting there. Like makes me miss them because they're not here with me right now, but. That's exactly what she would do. She was like, I'll eat those squirrels. I'll get the fuck out of my yard. It's so funny. But I played a little bit of Rock Band earlier because I think we talked about this, but in the process of moving and trying to shuffle things around, I broke my TV, but then managed to go find an upgraded version of that TV that was on sale. So things kind of worked out. So I've got a nice big TV that's new, and I'm a little miffed though. Rock Band, I'm having trouble getting it to calibrate correctly. I think it's because I'm using the Bluetooth soundbar, so that's stuff for me to figure out later. But when I got it to work on my headset, I got all sweaty. I was gonna maybe stream playing Rock Band in the turtle suit, but I'm pretty sure I might die if I tried to do that.
Yeah, it seems like you'd sweat to death. Yes.
Yeah, maybe the guitar, but not the drums. Definitely, I could sing.
Suit.
I could sing, but I couldn't drum. I would die. And then I said it earlier. I started watching about every 1 to 2 years. I have to go back and start watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's like just an in passing thing that just plays. So I'm doing that. Yeah, but I guess I'll have to replace it with Gundams.
No Last of Us Part 2 yet?
No, Street Fighter 6 came out, so Last of Us Part 2 will have to wait. But maybe we'll get there eventually. I mean, the problem is I know what happened, so it's like now I'm at this point where I feel very unmotivated to play it because I know what the plot is, and I was hyped for the first one because I'd already played it and I watched the show. So
I starting to have because I fucking hated the story when it happened, and it's probably because it was emotional about what happens to Joel. So that we'll discuss it when you play it.
yeah, it'll be a good discussion to have because I think that it definitely because of how polarizing it was, it definitely is a good thing for discussion. But but yeah, no, I haven't. Otherwise, I don't have anything else I've done. Just looking forward. I'm not even looking forward to it. I'm nervously, trepidatiously at trying to avoid playing Final Fantasy 16 when it comes out in a few weeks because I know I don't have time for that. That definitely needs to be a thing. I just wait in the fall and muster it because I'll sink so much time into it. Apparently, that game is going to be forever long.
Yeah, I'll probably get it for Christmas.
They're doing a bundle, a PS5 with Final Fantasy 16, and I looked at it long and hard on Amazon. I was like, I could get this. I could pre-order this pretty easily. It's right there. But no, I can't afford that. My Switch is about to die. I should probably buy a new Switch for fuck's sake.
Get OLED. I heard OLED looks fucking cool.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. I played one at a Target. I was like, this screen looks way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's okay. It's a little bit bigger, but it's just a Switch. If you can, I don't know what they're gonna do new, but I only got mine because the upgrade was really cheap, and it was cheaper to buy the upgrade than to buy new Drift Cons. Or Joy-Cons. That's what they fucking are. They're Drift Cons. Mine were broken. I needed new ones. It was cheaper to buy the upgrade.
It was cheaper to get a $350 system than $80 controllers.
Whenever the sale was out, yeah, I traded in my Switch and the Joy-Cons I had, and by trading it in and getting it, it was cheaper to buy that with all the random nonsense and whatever at GameStop than it was to actually buy it. Not by a lot, but I had to buy the Joy-Cons anyway. So it was like $10 less to do that.
It's
Yeah.
bullshit how Nintendo is able to weasel their way out of a class action lawsuit over that stuff.
Yes,
Ah,
I read a lot of stuff about
capitalism.
that. It's like, I don't know. It's all pretty skeevy. But
I feel like
well,
the
we
government
do,
should
but-
make them give all of us Switches, and all of us should have equal number of potatoes.
Fucking
And life would be
Microsoft
better.
owned up to the Red Ring shit. Why
Yeah.
can't they own up to their fucking faulty controllers?
'Cause
They
they're
can afford it
Nintendo.
too, is what's frustrating.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right, Zach, what the hell you been watching, playing, or doing?
Well, I did a lot of stuff because I was on vacation, and when I go on vacation, I don't really do much of anything. I just do what I want to do. So, like,
Jerk off.
jerk off a lot now.
Yeah.
I read some comics. I finished reading Spider-Man: Invasion of the Spider Slayers. It was all right. It was a fun little romp. Lots of fighting, and pretty good artwork too. It's a solid, kind of easygoing Spider-Man story if you want that kind of thing. Then I read Batman: Dark Knight, Dark City, which I can't remember where I got this. I might have got this at the Comic-Con that comes here, because that's when you find like real weirdo old trades and stuff, like books that that are not common. You can find a bunch, and it's a bunch of stories written by a guy, Peter Milligan, and like all of his Batman stories are weird because they all have like supernatural elements to them, or like really kind of off the wall stuff.
Like vampires and shit.
Not quite that far, but like the first one involves like colonial times, where Gotham is, where like a bunch of fucking well-to-do like American citizens and Thomas Jefferson abduct a woman and get ready to sacrifice her to summon a demon.
Okay.
And then, this has to see this is all connected. This is like big brain shit. But the Riddler is like committing these crazy crimes, and he's like, I know Riddler is kind of like a borderline meme, at least in the comics. But this time he went pretty serious. He was kidnapping babies, and he was like killing people, which is really uncommon for him at that time, because this was like 1990. And it's like increasingly every time, like something in the whole steps of Batman trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, it's like getting crazier. He had to trach a baby. A baby was choking to death, that he tried to make it choke on purpose, so Batman would have to trach a baby.
Jeez.
So yeah. But I don't know like what was going on, if Riddler was possessed by this demon, or like he was just so crazy that he wanted to, like, I don't know, fucking kill Batman. It was nuts. So there's also something about like a Jewish golem, which was interesting. Yeah. Why are you laughing at that?
I don't know
What?
why.
Okay, I gotta ask. I'm gonna sound really ignorant. What makes it Jewish?
Jewish
It's a
folktale
Hebrew
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So like the literal like.
No, yeah,
folktale
like
okay.
literally, there's old Hebrew folk tales about.
They can make a golem out of clay, and like
Right.
yeah.
Okay,
it's-
that's fine. That's what I was confused about. I was like, well,
I was just
Golem is
laughing
using
at the
so
I'm
many
word.
surprised
different
you've never
things.
heard that before. It's like, I think it's the origin of like just golems and D&D and shit.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where it came from. But and this guy was he survived fucking World War II, and he was in the shit in Europe, and he had a buddy who was a resistance fighter against the Nazis, and he sold him out because he was scared.
Mhm.
So there was a bunch of assholes in Gotham that were like, being mean to minorities and shit. So he got mad and he made a golem, and
Gotcha.
and it goes out of control, and Batman has to stop it.
That kind of sounds cool, actually.
It's kind
Yeah,
of cool.
I feel like that was a story either in one of the animated or maybe even in maybe they did that in Gotham.
That was an X-Files episode. There was an
It's
episode
X-Files.
about somebody making a golem in X-Files. That's
thought-
that's the first time I saw that.
I could have sworn that maybe there was something with Batman that had that too, but
I don't
like
think
yeah,
so.
you guys talking about it. It's like I would kind of vaguely familiar with that. It was more just like the context of, again, a golem can be so many things, but because it's like soulless thing
Yeah.
that's made. But yeah, it was just funny the way you said it. It's like
Jewish golem, yeah.
I sound so like
It's a regular stone golem, but it's all kosher.
it's all well.
Kosher
when I
golem.
first heard that, I'm immediately thinking of him wearing the fucking. You got the yarmulke on, and he's got the fucking curly hair hanging out, and I'm like,
He's a
oh, that's
Hasidic
just like
golem.
the most like the
It's
most
fucking
stereotypic thing I can. Yeah.
Fucking Smeagol and shit and Jewish.
But it's pretty cool. Like, if you can, I don't know if you can still buy this. You know, I don't know if it's out of print or something, but it's some different Batman stories. If you're like, you want to try that, the art's good too.
Cool.
And then I started reading some X-Men, the Dark Phoenix saga. I've never read it.
Ooh,
This was my
really?
first time reading
Oh, the
it.
OG Dark Phoenix. Ooh, man, what a story.
I know. I'm having. It's good so far. They just found Kitty Pryde and Dazzler, and like they're meeting up. Like that's where I'm at right now. But it's funny because like this is another really old trade I got, and you can tell. And I think this was probably printed in the 80s because it's like the book is like this thick, and it's $10.
Oh wow, yeah.
That was the price, and like that makes me laugh a lot because nowadays Marvel would sell that same book for 50 in that size.
Yes, 100%. Yes,
And
true.
their trades are overpriced as shit. You can buy DC trades the same size, and they'll be like maybe $35 or $40. I don't know.
It probably wouldn't even be the full trade. They'd probably fill it with a bunch of other shit, and then you'd have to buy another one. So it'd be like $100 to get all of the actual content.
It jogged my brain though when I was reading this because they were talking about they just got finished fighting Proteus, and I was like, "Fuck, that's another one I need to read." Is like the Proteus shit, and I don't think I have it yet, so I'm probably have to go to buy the Proteus trade for that.
I'd be curious when you
all
finish
X-Men
it,
stories
like
are
what
already-
your opinions are about it, because that story is
It's divisive. I understand.
it goes ways. I'm interested to see what you think about it.
I
especially
think
towards
a
the
lot
end.
of it comes down to how much you like Jean Grey or not, because it's like some people.
I
and
hate
it's
Jean
different.
Grey, but
See?
it's still a good it's still a good story though.
Why do you hate Jean Grey though?
It's never clicked with her. I've always been a Scott fucking Cyclops dude, and I was like, why are you worried?
The
Why
asshole
Like, to
jock.
give you more reason to like her.
Why
Yeah.
do you like this woman so much? That's just how I am.
'Cause she's
That's-
pretty and nice.
Yeah, because he's in love with her.
That's kind of what you generally go for when you find a woman.
I have a very weird
know,
opinion
but
about Dark
when
Phoenix.
when I read this as a kid, I was like, "Ew, cooties, girls." So I've always just been stuck that way.
No,
I can see Dub's like looking at that, and he's like watching her, and like they like give all like the voluptuous curves and everything. He's like, and he's seeing like them like kiss.
And he's like gay.
That shit's gay. Stop doing that.
I mean, I saw Rogue in the X-Men animated series, and I heard that accent, and I was like, "Oh damn,
that awakened things in me.
I don't know why I'm more of a Rogue fan.
Me too. I mean, I like Rogue better. She's more fun, interesting character. Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And Jubilee is fucking cool too.
You got to have characters that are like straight, you know. And what I mean by that is like all business. Like Scott Summers is all business. Jean Grey is kind of like a more serious character.
Yeah, that's why I hate Scott Summers. He's my least favorite X-Men because he's just like so milquetoast. It's just like, okay, we get it, Scott, you're in charge, whatever. I don't fucking care.
I like it. I like when Wolverine gets pissed off at him though.
See, I like Scott because the original iterations of that's how he is. But man, they peel some of the layers back. He is a fucked up individual.
Like
some of the
after
stuff.
like Emma Frost is a thing, and like
they kind of
develop him more.
I mean,
I haven't really read that so much.
I have a hot take. Dark Phoenix is a turning point for that, and it is where there's a big split in a lot of X-Men fans in terms of where things go from there. And I'm looking at it more like objectively, rather like I still enjoy some of the other arcs and stuff that are there, but that comic, it to me is a turn for the worse in a way at the end. But not in the short term, it's not like it's a good story and there's other stuff to it. But in the longer term, I've always felt like that really cemented how much of a corner they backed themselves into with Jean Grey as a character, and how like some of the relationships, especially with her and Xavier, and they don't do themselves any favors later in the '90s and like some of the Ultimate stuff too. They really screw stuff around. And again, it also depends how people feel about Avengers versus X-Men too. Like that was another thing I like. I like when they just went full on. You know what? Nope. Scott was like, I'm just going to assume the role of I have to be the bad guy, and I'm just going to start fucking killing people that get in my way.
I
I fucking like that. He just like fucking melts fucking Xavier.
I like an early internet on YouTube when I'm the Juggernaut bitch fucking came out, and
I'm just bitch. Charles, get in my head.
I just remember the part. Is that bitch in a raincoat?
Oh yeah, your raincoat, bitch. You can't run. I can quote that whole fucking 9-minute video. I'm not even kidding. I'm a part-time stripper and I do hair.
Classic. I watched we'll go with games next because I watched a bunch of other stuff too. But I played Death Trap Dungeon. That is a PlayStation game I bought a while back on the cheap. It's and I got it mostly because it was cheap. Like I looked on the back of the box, like this looks kind of interesting. It's like dungeon shit, it's RPG shit, whatever. And I was surprised to find out like IDOS published this game. It's very of that time in IDOS game, late 90s IDOS stuff. But it's like Tomb Raider, but with like a Western fantasy filter on it, with better controls, believe it or not.
Bizarre.
It's so strange. It's literally like Tomb Raider. You're playing Tomb Raider, but in a fantasy setting, in a dungeon. You're traveling through a giant dungeon.
But does it have large polygonal breeds in it?
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay, I'm in. I'm on board.
Because there's a male character, and then there's a female character, and yes, she has big polygonal hoo-has, and she's got a nice waist too. So yeah, you can play either or, but yeah, it was really weird though to play this game. What's funny is like it was kind of developed around the same time Tomb Raider was, and they weren't looking off of each other's like sheets cheating or anything. They both just kind of ended up playing similarly. But I was like, man, after playing Death Trap Dungeon, like y'all should have like stole this engine and kept making Tomb Raider off this because there's none of that grid-based movement shit.
They did okay for a while.
They did okay. Yeah, it's fine. Like I don't hate that stuff anymore because it's interesting, but kind of a cool game. But I quit playing it a little ways through because I realized there was a PC port, and I can probably play it better on like an older machine, like the one I have in my background here. And I'm probably just gonna because the PC version is dirt cheap. Thankfully, some PC games aren't like stupid expensive still.
It's part of a trilogy, and the whole trilogy was ported to Switch for $10.
There you go. Well, I can even do that.
You can play it when you poop. It's even better.
I want to get it because it's complete.
I want everything on Switch.
It's got the cool box though. It's got those cool triangle boxes they used to kind of make back.
Oh, the Zone. Yeah, I love those.
It's fucking rad. But
I've always wanted the Final Fantasy VII one, but it's like $1 million now.
Oh yeah,
they published Final Fantasy on PC in North America. They're like, fuck it, put it in an IDOS box.
Sweet. I started playing Astral Chain. Pretty interesting game. I don't have too much to say about it yet because I'm still kind of just getting started on it. Very anime though, in a good way. If you like that like anime aesthetic and shit.
That sounds so familiar. What's that for?
Switch.
Oh, it's a newer game.
It's not newer. It came out several years ago now.
Like 3 years, I think. Right?
I think it's longer than that. But
it's like the premise, like one of the characters, like police.
No, yeah, you're police in like this future where there's like a bunch of interdimensional monsters that invade, and the police have to fight these monsters.
Okay, I remember some of it now. I remember seeing the trailer. I think when it first like.
Yeah, but you make a character. It's a platinum game though, and it's kind of like a more of a simple action game.
Yeah.
Just than Bayonetta or something. It's pretty fun so far though.
That sounds neat.
Play Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro on PlayStation, the sequel to the Spider-Man game by Neversoft.
PlayStation did up.
Oh, dude, the Spider-Man, the first one and that game both, fucking rip. Those games are awesome.
See, it's where I'm going to split because I like the first one by Neversoft quite a bit. I don't like Enter Electro that much. It's just kind of bleh to me. A lot of the missions are like the story is not as interesting in it. And it's literally just every scene is like Spider-Man is following this guy, and then you see guys pass a briefcase or some shit, and then he's like, oh, I guess I got to follow that guy now. And that goes on for like a while, for like several missions. The level design, a lot of the stuff is like more rushed and like lazy. It feels like too in that one. It's a different team. Like Neversoft did Spider-Man, and then they went on and did something else.
Now, have you ever played that game before, and you're just going back to play it? If I remember, because if I remember both the Neversoft games, aren't there like modes after the fact where you can control the respective villains? Like the first one, you could do a whole thing where you play a whole story mode with like a whole mode through the game with like Doc Ock, and then Electro. I think it's the same thing in the sequel.
No, not those games.
I thought those were the ones. I thought those were the Spider-Man ones that you had like the alternate stuff. I mean, I know there was a movie one where you can like control Goblin, but that's a whole different thing. But I could have sworn it was one of those. It's not like a whole like you're not playing a whole campaign or anything, but it's like you can just control the character through the story mode, and it's like there's like a bunch of fourth wall stuff in it.
No, you just play Spider-Man in both these games, but you might be thinking of the Spider-Man, the official game of the movie, or
I'm gonna look it up. Yeah.
I
thought it was those. Like I'm not saying it's like instantly available. It was like I don't know if it was either a code or you had to like beat it on a certain difficulty to unlock it. Like its whole thing is like to play like take the piss out of it. But I could have sworn it was that one. Maybe it was a movie one. I'm just mixing my nostalgia.
I played the fuck out of the first Spider-Man. I know for a fact there's nothing like that in it, but yeah. That game is just okay though. I don't know if you really, really like those kinds of games, maybe you'll like it. I didn't want to finish it though.
Yeah, I wonder for me if it's more the phenomenon of I remember the first one because that's the one I remember playing so much. That's the one where Doc Ock and Carnage melt together, right? At
they make end. Doc Octopus Carnage.
Yeah,
you don't even fight him; you just run away because how do you fight that?
Yeah, because you and Venom are like, no, fuck that.
Also played some Rival Schools. I sat down and played that by myself some.
God damn it, I wish I had that game.
It's a very cool game, very fun. Last summer, I don't think I probably didn't mention this, but me and my brother, he was at the house with me there on vacation as well, and we played like Rival Schools for like 2 or 3 hours, and like that game is a hell of a lot of fun when you like really learn how it all works. Not that there's like a lot to it, but it's like this really fast and loose kind of like a team battle kind of game a little bit. But the arcade mode's interesting because there's multiple endings. It's not like every character you can have like a good or a bad ending or an okay ending or something depending on how you do it. And then there's the evolution disc, which I haven't even got into yet. I can't even fucking tell you what that's about yet because I don't have the instruction manual for mine. But it's like some other kind of side mode. But then I watched a bunch of movies. I watched Blade. I watched Blade 2. Motherfuckers is always trying to ice skate uphill. It's one of my favorite random lines. He says it at the end of the first one where he kills the bad guy. I'm like, that. What the fuck? It's cool, but like I don't know that fit.
I feel like that was 100% like
Wesley
improvised. Wesley Snipes just said that shit, and they were like, "That's great, roll with it."
Yeah, keep it.
He was thinking about his tax evasion and shit.
But those movies are still good. I like the first one more. Blade 2 is pretty good, but I felt like there was like a lot of random like plot elements that got brought up.
Triple H in it.
That's Blade 3. Blade Trinity. I didn't watch that one yet. But yeah, Blade 2 felt like it had a lot of plot elements and shit was just dropped. Like shit that was brought up, like the Whistler, the old guy, Chris Christopherson, that helps Blade with all of his shit. Like it looks like he dies in the first movie. They bring him back, and apparently they turn him into a vampire, and it's just never brought up again.
Yeah,
it's just like he never feeds on anybody. There's no bullshit. It's just like he's fine. Among other things, I watched Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3. Now, see, a few weeks back I told you, I watched Sleepaway Camp 1, and I was like, that movie's not that good, but the ending is like really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those movies where you watch it once and you're like, you should probably watch this once just for that. Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 are very different movies, and I like them more actually than the first one because, like, it's the same character who causes all the mayhem in the first movie, played by a different actress, done in a different style instead of like whatever. Honestly, Sleepaway Camp 1 kind of feels like a made-for-TV horror movie almost, whereas these are like, they're definitely riffing off of the 80s slasher thing that was going on, because that's when they came out, 88 and 89. But they have fun with it. There's more tongue-in-cheek kind of stuff, and like the killer is having fun with these killings. So I appreciate that aspect of it. They're good for a hoot. I watched another movie called Tourist Trap, 1979, and it's like a bunch of these people like are in this podunk out in the middle of nowhere town, and this dude runs a gas station that was off this highway that was also a wax museum. When they built the highway, they killed his business or some shit. So like the wax museum is just old and run down, but whatever. All these people like get killed off by this weirdo who's wearing like wax masks, and he's turning people into wax dummies. And it's got kind of a cool little twist to it. They fuck with you. They work you into thinking somebody else is a killer and it's not actually. So it got me. Madhouse, another 80s horror movie. I don't really want to get much into that one. It was pretty decent though for what it was. I watched The Babadook.
How was that movie?
It's really good, honestly. Like I was surprised by how good it was actually.
Everyone seemed to really like it when it came out.
Well, some people don't like it. I can
really?
kind of understand. See, it's not because it's bad. I understand why some people don't like it.
Because stupid.
No, not necessarily.
I'm just trolling.
It's just because, I figured you are. No, because the whole thing is about like this kid and his mom, and it seems like the kid's like kind of borderline autistic or something. Like he's really hyperactive and stuff. Maybe makes you think that he might be. And she's a single mom. Her husband died. And it's just like she's just drained, tired of having to, raise her son on her own. And she's still depressed and fucking beat up over her husband dying. And it sucks. You really feel like she's ground down a lot. And there's like, it plays off of this frustration sometimes where like, how your mom can just get fucking upset and annoyed with you. There were times like that when you were growing up, I'm sure. Except that's all turned up to 11. And so some people that I feel like that hits them different, and that makes them not like the movie. Because it's like, this mom's like being really fucking mean to her kid and shit. There's a reason for that though. But great movie. I feel like that's probably one of the, because it came out in like 2013 or something. I think that was one of the first, I'll say like the new age of horror movies where people started making really good horror movies out of nowhere after we had Drek for like 20 years. House of the Devil by Ty West. I watched that too. Very cool movie. It made me want to see the rest of his movies. Some girl has to go house sit, or this guy has a really old like mother-in-law that lives with him or some shit. It's kind of weird how it's all set up. He's like really shifty about like this hiring her to do this and everything. It's strange the way it all comes off. And it's this giant house out in the middle of nowhere. And her friend takes her. He's like, this is where I don't think you should do this. He's like, I need the money, so I'm going to do it because she's got to pay her rent or something. And from there, it's like there's a lot of tension that this just builds from like, what the hell's happening? Like, because there's stuff going on in this house, there's weird shit, and it's just constantly building tension up until it actually pops off. Some unexpected twists too. Really good movie though. Beavis and Butthead season 2's out. I've seen 4 episodes of that. It's still great. Some of the best episodes so far. My favorite one is like they were meditating, like they're doing that. You remember their teacher? Like, okay, guys, here we go. Like I can't remember that guy's fucking name. Their lame ass hippie teacher.
Oh my god, I can barely. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I know. I just can't recall his name. So, they were forced to go to like his meditation class instead of detention because detention, of course, just doesn't fucking work for them. And they're like, meditation sucks. And they're just like, clear your mind of all things. And it's like all these people sitting there, and you hear their inner thoughts. And when it goes Beavis and Butthead, you don't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
And they achieve enlightenment because their heads are empty.
Yeah, their heads are empty. They cleared their minds. That makes
You have
sense.
to clear. Yeah. it is pretty good though.
It gets better from there because they meet Jesus, Zeus, Gandhi, and like who else was there? Oh, Bill Gates.
Yeah, Bill Gates. Yeah, he's on
Okay.
the same level. It's Jesus.
They all meet them in enlightenment. Is funny though. And I finished Outlaw Star,
Hell yeah.
and I still like it. It's good, but I feel like after actually watching it, there's a lot of stuff that didn't really get expanded on or explained as much.
Yeah. No, like when I was younger, that I still love. I'm with you. I still love it, but when I rewatched it again, I was like, man, there's so many like missed opportunities and so much like nonsense, and it's like toward the end, it's just it felt like it was rushed.
I feel like it could have used another 26 episodes.
Yes, for sure. I wondered if maybe they laid it out thinking they were going to get more, and they're like, no, you're only getting one season. They're like, shit. They go to the ley line and there's a big fight and fuck it.
Yeah, the ending especially, it was like felt really rushed. I'm like, what the hell? Like this guy's the bad guy, the leader. He's not the leader of the pirates, but he's like a big bad guy in the pirates. And
Yeah,
that's one thing. Like they never really explored the K pirates that much. You don't really learn much about them. The whole thing with Outlaw Star was being developed by the pirates and the military, and apparently the military never wants their fucking shit back, and they don't care about it. Just like stuff like that. You never learn about the casters, really. You don't learn about that old. This is like one of my favorite Japanese tropes now. Like now that I've had my attention called to it, forgotten ancient technology. That's like something that only they do. Like we don't like. I don't know. I don't really run across that in like Western fiction. But every time in like an anime or a video game or some shit, there's always like this forgotten technology that was.
Zelda's gotten away with it twice in a row.
I know. It's one of my friends was just telling me about that. I was talking with them about this too. I'm like, that's cool. I even dug into like seeing if it was a case like I call it the Hellsing effect. I'm sure it's happened before, but like this was my first encounter with it, where it's like they make anime based off of a manga, but they outrun the manga.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like, is that what happened there? No. Apparently, the anime and the manga are very different in terms of the story they tell. Like I think it's a lot of the same kind of plot beats and stuff, but things are very different. Like Hilda's in it a lot longer. And I thought that was one of my first things I thought watching this is like, man, I wish she was in this more. She was only in it for 3 episodes. And she's kind of, it goes crazy wanting to get the ley line and shit. And her and Gene actually fight, and Gene loses his arm in a fight with her, and he kills her.
What?
Yeah, they kill each other. And beyond that, like everybody's characterization just seems not as good. It's like everybody's like really moody and like they have random emotional outbursts and shit a lot, and that's like parts of like the Japanese manga anime storytelling I don't like. So it sounds like the anime was just better. Sorry, not sorry. That's everything. That's all I did.
So you watched all those horror movies, but you wouldn't watch Nope after we talked about it.
I'm gonna watch Nope eventually.
No,
It's on Netflix, right?
Amazon, I think.
Yeah.
Is it free?
Oh, free?
Yes,
I think
it's
so. Yeah, it is
on
right
Prime. Yeah. Before we sign off, it's quick. I just want to give some context. So when the original CEO of Twitter resigned, they put like a stooge head from corporate from Amazon to replace him. It's just this old boomer dude. And the first thing he did is change the 70-30 split to 50-50. The 70 was going to the creator, 30 going to the Twitch website, corporate Amazon. Then he changed it to 50-50. Today, they did a lot more news. So I am an affiliate on Twitch. Now, if I want to get out of the affiliate program, I have to pay $25 to leave.
What?
Yeah. So
You can just not stream.
yeah, I know that's what a lot of people said. We're just not going to stream on Twitch and stuff. And
Yeah,
they
just stream somewhere else.
yeah, they also said simulcast, which we are.
Uh-oh.
No, it finally.
They're coming for us.
Shit. All the conspiracies were true. Shit, run.
Amazon's ninjas are about to come through all of our windows.
Yeah, my internet just cut out.
There
Sorry.
it is.
Yeah,
We thought Twitch got you.
yeah. I'm streaming on Twitch right now, but in July, you can't do Twitch and then stream on competitors. That goes for all non-affiliate, non-partner, and partner and affiliate people. So you will get struck and probably banned if you simulcast from Twitch and their competitors.
They have so many alternatives. Just
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, because before this big news came out, they were coming out with a sponsor program through Twitch, which means that they can get you sponsors. But the thing is, they take a cut of your sponsor money, meaning that you'll get a certain percentage, probably 50-50 again, and 50 will go to Twitch. So
and this
now
is all they put the stooge in charge, and they said you need to make Twitch more profitable or you're fired. And he said, "Oh, I guess I'll do all this shit." Right? I mean, that's
That's
kind of
what
what it
that
is.
sounds like.
yeah, but the thing is, it's not creator friendly, which means that
He
everybody's
doesn't.
gonna,
Yeah, he's not.
yeah,
doing it.
everybody's gonna leave Twitch and go to Kick and all the other alternatives. But
I'm gonna go stream on fucking Rumble and Cozy and fucking all this other bullshit.
But the sponsor thing, they made a rule saying that if you are not part of the Twitch sponsor thing and you're putting a out of the Twitch sponsor program logo in your stream, you will get banned, or at least you'll get hit with some type of terms of service. So
Who the fuck's writing their policy? Vince McMahon?
Yeah, it sounds like
It sounds absolute like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
You're independent contracted streamers, but don't you dare share that shit because you work for us. So kinda, not really. Give us $25 if you want out. The fuck are they gonna offer a timeshare next?
yeah.
Twitch timeshare. Let's
What?
go.
It doesn't even like make sense. So like, what about
Listen,
Patreon? Like, can people link to a Patreon or
No, it has to.
This isn't gonna fly at all. Like, and also,
Oh,
like you said,
yeah.
they can't stream somewhere else. So if Nintendo wants to stream a Nintendo Direct both to Twitch and YouTube, which they are doing now, they can't do that. Or
Well, they can't simulcast. You could still stream on different competitors, but you can't do Twitch and like YouTube at the same time. I don't know why.
Still, I mean, the same thing applies. If Nintendo wants to put the Splatoon tournament replays on YouTube, they can't do that now.
Well, they can do that. It's just that you can't.
they can't live
simulcast.
stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't live stream it. If you're gonna stream on Twitch, you have to exclusively stream on Twitch, and you
Yeah,
can't.
so if a direct goes live, they can't stream.
Can't
it.
simulcast.
Yeah, they can't simulcast. But if they
That's-
do like replays and highlights, yeah, that can go on YouTube.
That's idiotic. I fucking hate. There's no
Uh,
way. They're
it's-
gonna- I just wonder. Like, I wonder if they didn't announce all this stuff at once because they know there's going to be kickback and they're going to see what
They're
can
gonna
get
walk
away
back
with.
a lot of probably.
Yeah, they're going to walk back. Like, it's like that thing where they wanted to get stuff through the censors for like Animaniacs, so they put like a bunch of outrageous shit in there, so the halfway decent stuff can get through. That's what it feels like. I feel like they're like, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this," and really, it's just the second thing they care about. But the other stuff is just like so outrageous. That's what people are going to be
Well,
up in arms about.
Yeah, a lot of the creators and the big creators that make them money are just like, hey, we're gonna leave if you do this, and now they're apologizing. And
Sorry.
other news of Twitch, WWE,
Apologize now.
Yeah,
There you go.
WWE signed with the Twitch, so now Monday Night Raw is going to be on Twitch.
Is that for real?
Yeah, it's for real.
Yeah.
Hey, you
So-
can watch Raw now.
It really is like a part of this. See, it wasn't even that far off.
Andy
Mhm.
can watch Raw with us now.
I guess I could.
Yeah.
Watch all those fucking commercial breaks.
I don't know how you guys still watch it. I watch
don't
the
wa- I
highlight
don't
show
watch
the
it.
next day. Oh,
I
okay,
don't.
good. Okay, like I really hope you guys don't watch it. It seems like a slog.
No, it
Yeah.
is. And it's like, oh boy, something's gonna happen. And then like a match starts, and it's like, oh, commercial break.
Right in the middle. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. And
Exactly how
last
it
news,
feels.
Apple had their thing and their new VR headset starting price $3,500.
$3,500. Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
So the thing I was at yesterday for the Pokemon event, someone that was there was talking about their friend that couldn't make it because he got into a big argument with his girlfriend because he pre-ordered that headset. And I'm like, why? I was like, what does he do for a living? He works at Walmart. And I'm like, you fucking idiot! You can't get here because your car's broken down and you depend on your girlfriend to drive you to work. Why would you buy $3,500?
$3,500 is a decent used car.
Exactly. It's like, why are you buying a VR headset? And I was like, I guess he can actually drive himself to wherever he wants in his virtual
I
reality.
guess.
Now,
Drive myself to the Taj Mahal. Vroom, vroom.
He wants to unplug from reality.
quick bits. They're finding like Easter eggs for characters in World Tour on Street Fighter that suggests maybe these characters are mapped and they will exist in the game. Saddam was one of them, or Sodom.
Saddam.
Saddam Hussein. That's
Saddam, yeah, or Sodom. How do you say it?
Sodom.
Sodom.
Sodom and Gomorrah. That's right. Sodom. Sorry. Anyway, that person. I used the incorrect emphasis. It's fine.
Jewish golems.
Jewish golems, yeah. Speaking of Jewish golems, Ed Boon is tweeting out about characters, and he's teasing that they are going to bring 3D era characters to the new Mortal Kombat game.
I saw something about that.
Someone asked him, and he literally just sent a picture of this character select screen from MK4
Well,
as a
somebody
response.
dug up a thing like from like an Amazon pre-order page, like I think in Europe or some shit. It was talking about like character packs.
Oh, the
Yeah.
DLC stuff. Oh, it's insane. Like Homelander and shit.
Yeah. Well, the other one just had Mortal Kombat characters in it, and one of them was Movado from Deadly
Mhm.
Alliance, and I think another one. I can't remember the other one right now though.
It was Movado, Johnny Cage, and something else, but there's something specific to that. They were called cameos, and cameo was spelled with a K.
Yeah.
And they briefly explained cameo thing. It sounds like there's going to be like a tag system in this game of some kind, or some element of that where you have an assist of some kind.
Huh.
And that's where that comes from. So then they haven't explained enough. So the gameplay actually, I think it's tomorrow. The gameplay leak or the trailer is tomorrow. So look for that. Yeah, not the biggest leak in the world, but yeah, they're actually going to show some gameplay footage, and I'm hopeful they'll explain more. So it'll be neat.
All right. I think let's sign off before my fucking internet craps out. I think it's my Ethernet port in my laptop. I'm probably gonna have to do Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi out there and blowing there.
Yeah, make it work. All right, guys. Catch us on all podcast services. Also on YouTube on Big Trouble Podcasts and also Couch Entertainments.
Not Twitch till July. Apparently.
Yeah, and like and subscribe, and then comment down below as far as Twilight Samurai or anything that we talked about. And remember, Ran or Ran, I don't know how you say it, whatever.
It's
Rain.
easier to find.
Yeah, and
Rain.
we'll discuss it next week. Bye, guys. See you later.
Thanks for listening.
I have a question for God. Why?